Hi, friends. Trace here. This show is one of my most favorite things that I have ever done in science communication, mainly because of you. You all give us such amazing questions and you share your stories with us, and it just makes me feel so fantastic inside that we can create this community together. And I know Julian and Kyle and Sabrina and everybody else, we all feel the same way. It's just incredible. Y'all show up every time. Remember back in Pod 71 when Jasmine Miller came on to talk about being Batman, but on a budget? Jasmine works with a charity called Give Directly, and it's the holidays, so they pinged us. And it turns out they're doing a thing called Pods Fight Poverty. They pinged us to join 40 other podcasts to fight poverty, and we said yes without hesitation. I mean, put simply, Give Directly gives money directly to people who can use it to better themselves in their communities. And research has shown time and time again that this kind of philanthropy actually does make meaningful, lasting change, more so than almost any other kind of giving. So today we're going to re-air that episode with Jasmine. It's that time of year, that would make total sense. But before we do, through the end of December, all first-time donations made via our link, givedirectly.org/absurd, will be matched 100% by Giving Multiplier. So it's like donate one, get one, Dogo. That's way better than BOGO, by the way. When you donate at givedirectly.org/absurd, we can show them that our community shows up for others. I know that you show up for us, but maybe some of you out there want to show up for others too. I donated this morning. I hope you will. Don't be like Bruce Wayne and just use your money for fancy belts and Kevlar. Go to givedirectly.org/absurd and help real people in need. I mean, Batman is also in need, but like in the therapy department, that's a whole other podcast. Okay, with that, have a great holiday. We'll be back next week with a new holiday special episode that I think you're going to love. It is absolutely absurd. But this week, Pod 71, Red Sky at Night, Batman's Delight, featuring Yasmin Khan and Jasmine Miller, which is confusing. I know, you'd think we'd be better at this, but come on, you know us. We're going to make weird mistakes like this all the time. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week. Hello and welcome to That's Absurd. Please elaborate. This is a podcast. That's what it is. It's an audio experience where you answer. No, you don't answer them. We answer them. We answer strange, absurd, off the wall, just absolutely far out weird questions from our audience. You all send them in and we do the research. We use our years of science communication, or in this case, also other communication research, and then we give you, hopefully, a satisfying answer. If this is the first time you're tuning in, normally my intros are better. I'm sorry about that.
I don't know. I think audio experience. It sounds so lofty, but then I realized that hearing literally anything or even feeling sound is an audio experience. That's a really low bar, and I think that's about where we're at. So that's good.
Well, anyway, I'm Trace Dominguez. The other voice you just heard is Julian Huguet.
The other voice you audio experienced just now is Julian Huguet.
Yes, but this week we also have a third person with us, a guest. Yasmin, welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be on this podcast with you guys. This is going to be fun.
Yasmin Khan, the Young Turks contributor, thank you for also being part of the audio that people are experiencing at this moment.
It's very exciting for me also to be on this side of that experience for all of your listeners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was great.
So people listen.
If this is the first time you've tuned into the show, I've already explained what the premise is, but we're going to answer each of us one question from our audience. Julian is going to go first.
Yes.
So let's kick right into it. Julian.
Okay. My question for this episode comes from Win, who asks, how can I be Batman on a budget?
Early, okay, we bring up Spider-Man a lot on this show.
We do. We had a whole Spider-Man episode.
Like early Spider-Man when he's like wearing a blue and red like sweatpants Batman? Or are we talking like Batman, but he's on like, one of those budgets where it's like, okay, you have like 40% of your income needs to go to this and 20% for savings. And what are we talking?
Well, fortunately, Win provides some context. Win added, I really want to be Batman. But I'm not a billionaire. Oh. How could I be Batman for, let's say, the income most people have? Is this an excuse to talk about income inequality? Up to you, but bonus points if you figure out how to defeat the Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, and Mr. Freeze. Also, in this scenario, you are as smart as Batman and have 20 years to fight crime and 10 years to train.
Got it.
Yes. So basically, the way I interpreted it as is you have all of Batman's stuff, but the Wish.com version of it, you know?
No.
All of Batman's stuff, though, like a dungeon, like a lair full of stuff.
Whoa.
Right.
Like-
So some sacrifices may have to be made.
Okay.
Like a purchased on Temu kind of bat car.
Right.
You get
Well,
it, and it's 1/10 scale.
My favorite I ever saw was like an Amazon order, and it looks like a nice welcome mat or something. And when it showed up, it was like a foam cheap welcome mat that had the image that they put on the website printed on it, so it looked
I've
like it
seen
had
those.
like a texture.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's not fair.
But I think we're getting at something important to begin with, which is, what do you need to be Batman? Right? Courage, sense of justice, childhood trauma,
Yeah.
or is it all the stuff? You know,
I mean, also several documentaries made about your life, apparently.
Right.
And books written.
right.
I think you also have to be a little unstable to be Batman.
To dress
You know?
up in a bat costume and run around punching people? What gives you?
I'm just going to say, I don't have a strong opinion of Batman.
I think you
So-
do.
I don't have a strong positive opinion
Okay,
on
there we
Batman.
go.
Not
There we
positive.
go.
I do
Got
have
it.
a strong opinion on Batman, but I think you have to be quite delusional to say, you know what, here are all the problems in society, in this place that I live. I have all these billions of dollars. Let me not like pay taxes. Let me just like dress up as a bat and go drive around at night and fight bad guys.
Oh.
And there's all kinds of like conspiracy theories that the Joker isn't real and it's just Alfred dressing up as the Joker to give.
Just like propping up his delusion.
I think it really is like the delusion plus the billions of dollars.
The Shutter Island conspiracy theory where this guy is just so far gone that they're like, maybe if we just try playing along, it'll help him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Really?
So I am interested to see how you tackle this question because it seems impossible to me to separate Batman from the billions of dollars.
But before we launch in, let's just say, I will clarify, I am not a big comic book nerd at all. And as we always, we touch these hot stove topics a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek and Spider-Man and things that people are very passionate about and very knowledgeable about. And I'm just going to say off the jump, I'm not. So I'm going to get things wrong and you're just going to have to sit there and take it. Okay.
Ooh.
So, first of all, because a lot of people are very passionate about the bat, would you believe there's actually a lot of stuff online estimating how much it costs to be the Batman?
Oh, okay. I have an initial question.
Yes.
Which the Batman are we the Batmaning? Because you use the article, which makes me think, are you going the Pattinson Batman, or are you going like the Nolan Batman? You going the superior Batman, which is Batman the Animated Series Batman? Which Batman are you Batmaning?
Okay.
Batmanned. Bat-crude. If
you
we're
are
being,
correct.
Gender neutral.
In that the different articles and sources all kind of pick like a specific Batman from a specific comic book, video game, movie series, right? Christopher Nolan, Tim Burton, Robert Pattinson, right? Everybody kind of looks into their specific one. And the people making these different franchises sometimes take that into account. Like the Robert Pattinson Batman, they were talking about how, oh, it's kind of early days Batman, so we wanted his Batmobile to just be like a car that he could modify himself. You know, like a Chevy muscle car or something.
Yeah, it
right?
definitely felt that way in the film.
The figure that I see quoted most often when you want to like just find a number that somebody's come up with, I found in a Gizmodo article from 2015 by Thaddeus Howes. And he estimated that it would cost $682,450,750 for Batman, which is basically the Christopher Nolan version.
Okay. That's not as much as I thought.
Not a billion.
Adjusted for inflation, it's $900 million. So pretty close to $1 billion.
I mean, still though, less than I would have thought.
That's shocking to me because I felt like that was an insane figure.
I mean, it is insane, but I'm like, custom airplane, custom car, custom suits, custom cave, custom software,
So I did look into House's methodology, right? Because he breaks down line item by line item. And some of it, I'm with you, either felt too expensive or undervalued. The graphite cowl that he quotes, he thinks that alone should be $1 million. And if it's just for the one cowl, I don't get it. In the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, they say like, oh, you've got to order a whole bunch of them to kind of like hide, what they're really for, who's really buying them. So maybe that's where he's getting that $1 million figure. But one on its own, I can't imagine why it would cost $1 million. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's probably where they're going.
Yeah.
Ordering thousands of them or whatever.
But then, like you mentioned, the vehicles, I feel like those are severely undervalued, right? He says the Tumbler would cost about $18 million. Now, I can kind of see this in that the Tumbler in the Christopher Nolan Batman universe was developed for military use. It was supposed to be like a bridge.
A bridging vehicle.
I do not understand for the life of me how that was supposed to work.
Yeah, same. It would need a ramp.
Yeah, it jumps over stuff. Yeah, but then how does it...
It doesn't just jump on its own. Yeah.
It says it in the film. They drag cables behind two of them.
And then what?
And then once it's on the other side, I guess you would be able to use those cables to build a bridge.
Okay. I mean...
I don't know how.
It feels very
that seems
flimsy
clunky to me. I don't like that.
There are bridge-laying military vehicles, but what they basically do is they take like a tank chassis and they put a big-ass folding bridge on top of it, and then it just, goes up to the little gap, and the bridge extends, and then it drives over it, and then it picks it up on the other side once everybody's across. It doesn't
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and not ridiculously over-engineered, as far as I can tell. But anyway, that all aside... If you accept that, all right, military paid for the R&D costs, and then like a single unit is 18 million after that, like fine. Same goes for the jet, right? The Bat jet in The Dark Knight Rises is like this hovering helicopter jet thing. You never really get a good look at it in the movie. Supposedly, according to Howes, he's like, oh, I'll compare it to like a Harrier jump jet, and those you can get for like $60 million. I think, again, that's vastly underselling it if it's like a one-off vehicle, right? Because of those research and development costs. Like, a vehicle that I think you could compare to the Bat is the V-22 Osprey. It's this tilt rotor looking airplane helicopter kind of hybrid, right? It had a pretty troubled development history. It still crashes every now and again. Real Engineering has a fantastic video on it and why it crashes a lot. Anyway, its development costs were about $30 billion in 1988 or $82 billion in today's money. Right? So if you...
That's a bit.
The economics of mass producing stuff, right, is like, yeah, it costs a lot up front to build it, and then you order a whole bunch of them, and then, the unit cost, basically, the research and development cost gets kind of...
amortized.
Yeah.
Price comes down, right? So the price per vehicle is not that much. But if you're only buying... one, right? If they spent $82 billion and then purchased one, then the cost of that one airframe is $82 billion.
Right, yeah.
But would that cost, would those $82 billion be put on Batman for being Batman and flying one of these things?
Yeah, presumably, right? I mean, unless... I guess he stole one from Wayne Enterprises. I don't know how he got his hands on it, but I guess Fox is kind of embezzling it to him. Bruce should really look into that Fox character. He
the
seems
white collar
shady.
crime here is really interesting to me. We don't talk about it much.
Staggering.
But it is pretty incredible, especially since isn't Wayne Enterprises publicly traded as a company? Yeah. So, wow, there's a lot of really white collar crime happening in the Batman.
There's a lot of very questionable and unclean overlap, I would say.
Yeah.
So I do not have positive opinion on Batman. I don't know what he's up to. I don't trust a guy like that. No one should ever trust a guy like that. We grew up with these comic books. We should not be trusting these people with anything. So if he's flying around in this crazy jet, even like the Batmobile in the Nolan films, it looked like a Lamborghini or something. Like, I don't know my cars, but it looked crazy, you know?
It did
like
look crazy.
He does drive an actual Lamborghini. I'm sorry, actually, Bruce Wayne drives the Lamborghini.
Bruce Wayne drives.
I don't know why they keep bringing up Bruce Wayne, but he does drive a Lamborghini Murcielago, which means bat, which I thought was funny.
Oh, that is clever.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then the Batmobile in the Nolan movies is that tumbler tank,
Yeah,
nonsensical bridge building thing that we've covered.
Why would he drive? It just seems impractical for him to drive that.
It does.
Especially if he needs to make like quick getaways. Like how fast could that thing possibly? Anyway, that's all.
It's so cool.
It's so cool, and it growls when you drive it.
And also, Batman doesn't use guns except for the guns in the front of the frickin' tumbler and the guns on the...
It's a loophole. It's all
back.
It's a loophole. The gun is on the car. Batman doesn't use guns. The car uses guns.
Yeah.
This is classic gun-toting loopholes.
But he doesn't have one that he carries around, so it's fine. And again, Howes estimates the biggest cost for this $600 million plus figure is the Wayne Manor and the Batcave. And again, I don't see why the Wayne Manor keeps coming into it. But still, you know, it's hundreds of millions of dollars if you factor Wayne Manor out. So I started looking into what I think would be an idealized Batman, right? Not any particular comic book or Christopher Nolan universe or video game universe or anything like that. Just sort of figure out a rough real world analog of a lot of these gadgets and vehicles and then see if we can find the budget version for that.
I would like a real world analog to an airplane that is circular and bat-shaped, similar to the Tim Burton Batman, because that's, as a wing design, is appalling.
You already know my feelings on this.
Do.
I'm going to be obscenicus about the aviation in general. But okay, I started on the batsuit though. Right?
Got it.
And apparently the batsuit's important that it is bulletproof because of the whole not using gun thing that we covered. Right. Unless he does. Sometimes.
Right. Yeah, sometimes.
Also, you know, in certain comic books and stuff, he'll just use anyway, apparently. But anyway, he's taken on... There's a lot of guns in America. I don't know if you know this. So he's got to make sure that if he gets shot, he doesn't die. Also, apparently has to be flame resistant. That'd probably help. Maybe some robotic assistance, particularly in the legs. I hear being Batman is hard on your knees.
Yeah.
So I looked in to see if the U.S. military had ever tried making anything like this.
Oh. And
any bets on whether or not they have?
I just assume yes.
Yeah, absolutely. They have multiple times over many years.
Oh, gosh.
And the exact scale of the project varies. Sometimes it's like a full, ridiculous, over-the-top mech suit. And then sometimes it's a little more not as insanely unrealistic.
More practical Batman military suit. Cool.
Does it have rubberized nipples at any point?
We need those because it's not Batman without
the George Clooney Batman
the ideal
is definitely
Batman.
The kinky Batman, and I'm into it.
This is what the peak male form looks like. You may not like it, but it's true.
Yeah.
To me, that's like Joel Schumacher's biggest contribution to film was George Clooney's nipples in Batman films. Yeah. Thank you, Joel Schumacher, for those.
We could just rename that Batman. You know how they all have, there's Batman Forever, there's Batman and Robin. That one that whole series should be the Kinky Boots series. Because he's just like so fabulous in that one.
He
I
is.
love it.
Is that the one where they ice skate around Mr. Freeze? Yeah.
But they're really rollerblading.
Yeah.
Some really good one-liners in those.
Good times.
Anyway, moving on.
So, nipples aside.
Usually the front. But everybody's different.
We don't judge here. We don't nipple shame.
They're all they can be any shape.
Any shape, any inverted, extroverted, what have you. Okay. So, one particular military super suit stuck out to me as kind of looking and feeling most bat suit-like. It's from the early 2000s. It was called the Future Force Warrior.
Whoa.
Now, a lot of these projects with soldier super suits, especially like pre-modern age where everybody's got a smartphone and GPS in their pocket, a lot of them seem to be focused on somehow getting GPS and battlefield situational awareness kind of linked up to all these soldiers and their commanding officers, right? So a lot goes into like the helmet and like a 17-inch screen with maps and like live video and stuff. But they were trying to do this in the early 2000s.
Cool.
So So
they're hauling around a CRT.
Kind of demanding a lot from the technology of the time. And also not super relevant to being Batman, right? Sure, he's got the computer, and for some reason Bruce Wayne's butler is always talking to him. So there is some like interconnectivity in the bat suit, sure, but I don't think to the degree that a lot of these super soldier suits were trying to do. But other things did seem very bat suit like to me. It was supposed to have physiological monitoring sensors, so like temperature, heart rate, that sort of thing. Liquid body armor.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it was this early 2000s suit wanted to have like a ferrofluid, these iron particles suspended in a silicone oil so you could still move your body around, right? And probably squish a lot. And then if you were getting shot or something, a magnetic field would activate and would cause all the iron particles to line up and it'd become like this rigid structure to stop the bullet.
But only at that one spot, right? Because if you did it all over, you're just going to hurt somebody.
I have no idea.
This is weird.
But ferrofluids, by the way, super cool. Not as unusual as you might think. Modern high-tech car suspensions use them to stiffen up the suspension with the flip of a switch. They're cool stuff.
No, I was just wondering, like, if it's magnetic and it's attracted to a bullet or something like that flying at you. So if you have multiple bullets flying at you, that could be a problem.
Oh, you just draw all the bullets to
like
you.
Shrapnel, if there's like kind of explosion, that seems like that would be also problematic. And would that take a toll on the physical body that's inside of the suit also? I don't know.
That's a great question about how it would affect your insides. I don't know about that. I mean, we put people in MRI machines that are big, powerful magnets.
Yeah.
And, you know, so long as they don't have metal in them or on them, they're fine.
Yeah. No embedded shrapnel, because if they get shot in that area, that would hurt.
Yeah,
right.
I would imagine that would be a prerequisite to make sure there's no embedded metal within you before you get on one of these things.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
I also wrote a video years ago about like if a magnetic field could stop a bullet. And it's, well, first of all, like not realistically, no.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the bullet. People who are into guns will tell you there are a lot of different kinds of bullets.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like lead with a copper jacket, and copper does slow down when it goes through a magnetic field, but copper, it does not get attracted to a magnetic field.
Yeah, and lead's not magnetic.
Lead's not magnetic, no. So
also, what if you're fighting Mr. Freeze and he's not using lead bullets, he's using ice bullets or whatever he's shooting at you?
Great question.
Then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I think so long as the vest magnet activates and causes the iron filings inside the fluid to form those structures, you know, it doesn't matter what's hitting it. It should still protect you from penetration.
Sounds cool.
Sounds super cool. Then there is an exoskeleton layer with some armor bits on it. And then to enhance the soldier's muscles. And again, this is the early 2000s, okay? Cast your mind back to what technology was like then, okay? And then imagine taking this sentence seriously, knowing what we know now, 20 years later. They wanted nano machines in the fabric that when an electrical current was applied would contract and basically enhance the soldier's muscle strength. So like a 90-pound soldier could carry a 250-pound soldier like it was no big deal. That sort of thing.
I mean, cool.
Super cool.
Like an ant.
The project failed, unsurprisingly, which is why you don't see like super soldiers all the time. Oh, this is my favorite little thing, right? Because the magnetic field and the electrical currents for the muscles, obviously this means you're going to need a power source, right?
Right.
It said, and this is a quote, powering the entire suit is a 2 to 20 watt micro turbine generator fueled by a liquid hydrocarbon. They don't specify
it's a gasoline.
Yes, it's
They're
gasoline.
It's a gas powered. They just have a little gas engine. Like they're like a Chevy Volt, just out here, just like I got a little teeny gas engine. It'll keep me going. So when you get in the suit, is there a thing that you have to pull the cord like a long? And then you just walk. Everyone will know where you are because you're just going to be like
early 2000s technology.
Oh my gosh!
Everywhere you go, my goodness,
it is such an early 2000s solution, right? Of like, how are we going to power these electronics? Gasoline, like
I guess a gas engine.
That was
Nobody
my favorite
shoot
bit.
the gas engine, please. Don't shoot the gas engine.
Now, I couldn't find cost estimates on the program, but apparently at one point it was rolled in with another one of these kind of future soldier programs called Land Warrior. And again, that one was very focused on like battlefield awareness and stuff. And Land Warrior ran from like the mid 90s until it was canceled in 2007. And in that time, it cost about $2 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
two Batmans.
yeah. So again, developing the one-off suit when we're talking about R&D costs, and even in the movies, this isn't explained, right? There's no mass produce. They just mass sell the cowl for some reason,
right?
And then the soldier suits again were like developed and then not purchased by the military. But anyway, if you wanted this kind of level of protection, what the bat suit actually offers, you're looking for a cool $1 billion at least. That's outside Wynn's budget.
Yeah.
So on the bright side, the Future Force Warrior program and the Land Warrior program, although it was canceled, it did lead to some things that the Army adopted, including the Army combat shirt, which is flame resistant, and you can pick one up at your Army surplus store for about $20.
Hey. No, that feels extra budget.
Yeah,
that
that's
feels like
great.
Extra budget.
So
that's a recession special, that one.
So that's the flame resistance covered. And then if you want like a bulletproof vest and armor plates and a ballistic helmet, that's another $1,500.
Okay.
So we're at $1,520.
Great.
Cool.
Cool.
I think that's decent. Now
that's a pretty good budget.
Respectable.
Yeah. And then what are we doing? Like Timberlands or something? Like what's on this? Yeah, you know,
Some
I feel
boots.
like we got to have a little fashion.
Some
got a little
boots.
fashion in there.
Just boots.
Some
Okay.
boots.
Just like combat boots. Like Okay.
Probably some with like a carbon
From
fiber
Hot Topic or
reinforced
something?
toe.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Definitely
Yeah.
shiny.
And then
patent leather.
Yeah.
Or pleather if you're like extra budget, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll be pleather.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you need the bat motif, right? I figure you just buy a Batman costume from Spirit Halloween for like $50.
Maybe, you know what? How about you buy 50 of them the day after Halloween? So
good thinking. So when the bullet holes tear through the exterior of the costume.
Yeah, because Batman's like all these superheroes, they always have multiple of their costume, right? So
definitely.
you would need. I like Trace's idea. Go
Either
for
way.
the sales. Yeah.
Shop the sale rack. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Wait, don't buy it on October 30th. Buy it on November 1st. It's $5 instead of $50.
I think you get an XXL one, right, to fit over your stuff, and then it's, good enough. If you really want to splurge, you could get like a custom costume made from somewhere. What I keep thinking about is Conan O'Brien's butt.
What? Just generally you think about it?
Well, in this one particular instance, in Comic-Con like 8 years ago, he had a Conan O'Brien super suit made by Ironhead Studio that makes a ton of these costume ones. And he said during the video that they're making where he's touring the production facility down here at SoCal, he's like, by the way, I have no butt. Can you give me a butt? And then when he walks out on stage, he like struts out and he looks glorious and muscular, and he turns around and he just like lifts his cape to the side and he has the most perfect apple-bottomed butt imaginable. So I'm thinking, if you've got all these bulky tactical gear underneath for the protection, Ironhead Studio, they could probably make you still look pretty muscular and chiseled on the outside, even if you're, about as skinny as I am and then covered in heavy protection. But that's, you want to splurge.
I feel like I feel like if you are a budget Batman, the least you can do is get your body right. The least you can do is go to the gym and work out. If you're not bringing the cash, if you're not bringing the instability, then the least you can do is go to the gym and not use some of your limited budget on fake muscles.
You sound like a lot of Tinder profiles I saw when I was single. If you're not bringing the cash, you better be hot. And that's fair.
It's not bad logic, yeah.
Look, it works.
Okay, fair point. Besides, if you wanted one of these Ironhead Studios outfits, it would probably cost several thousand. I couldn't find one quote from Ironhead Studios, but I did see replica bat suit costumes that were like $5,000 minimum. Okay. Right. So we'll stick with the Spirit Halloween bargain bin on November 1st.
Right.
Okay.
$5 versus $5,000.
Yeah. Right.
Deal. That's
For
big
aesthetics,
savings.
come on. If you're operating at night anyway, who's gonna know? Really? You know, it's dark out there.
And you're fast, allegedly.
Because of all the gym time that you got in since you broke. Okay.
Yeah,
so let's move
Planet
on
Fitness, $25 a month or something. Like, you can go anytime
Yeah,
you
add
want.
that into the budget. Yeah. Add that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yes, excuse you. Okay, let's talk gadgets, though. Batman has a lot of gadgets. There's only one that I really think of, though, that I see used all the time. Anybody know what I'm thinking?
The cable gun.
Yeah, right?
the cable
Where he
gun.
has to jump off a roof.
Yeah.
What's it called? Yeah.
The
Yeah, I don't know what
grapple
it's. Yeah, I don't know what it's
launcher.
called. The bat grappler. It's got the bat claw
It's either
gun
the
cable.
grapple gun or the grapnel gun, but apparently a
Ew.
grapnel is just a grappling hook. But anyway,
Okay.
so synonyms. But
Could be
either
the
way,
bat claw. Come on, that'd be so cool.
Bats have claws? They have like...
they got
I
little
know they
feet.
have...
Little
Okay,
feet.
yeah.
They got.
little claws.
I guess so, because they hang upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
On their feetsies, but then their wings, they have
They have like the one claw.
their hands have been modified into wings. So that's
Yeah.
what a bat wing is.
Yay,
Basically
mammals.
a big hand.
That's
Anyway,
kinda cool.
they're so cool and unfortunately dangerous, especially if you're committing crimes. So I looked into if there are real life grapple guns, and I am so happy to report that yes, in fact, they do exist. There's a company called Helix that makes these things, and I found their brochure, and I can't tell you how crazy I felt browsing a brochure of grapple guns and grapple gun accessories. I have shared it with you if you would like to peruse it. It's in the group chat.
I am gonna click on it immediately.
Now, the first thing you might notice, though, is like Batman's grapnel gun is like a little, like, pew, he just pulls it
Yeah.
out. It's like the size of a
Oh my-
handgun.
Gosh, this thing
No.
is huge.
No, these things are, even the compact grapnel launcher is enormous,
It's
right?
gigantic. It
Like
makes
a
the
rocket
like.
launcher.
It looks
Wow.
like one, yeah, like a big
Yeah.
old grenade launcher. And a big part of it is just the bag for the rope, which,
Yeah.
I mean, duh,
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe we've been brainwashed by Spider-Man and how he just like, it comes out from his wrist or whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
we didn't even think about it. We didn't think about where all that rope's coming from.
Yeah, we all think like, oh yeah, thin little strand, that's fine, Yeah, if you're going to support a human body going up, 100 feet, 30 meters, you're going to need a big thick rope
But
probably.
how heavy is that?
Right? Yeah, 200 pounds or
it'd be a
like
lot to tote
80
around.
some kilogram person.
And then remember, of course, after Batman shoots the grapnel gun, then it just whoosh, whisks him to the top of whatever building it's latched onto, right? Well, in this same brochure, you'll also find the Atlas-powered Ascender series. There's multiple of them to
Huge.
do exactly that. And they're also big, chonky boys.
Yeah.
They are.
It's like to use another. The first thing I thought of, as stupid as this is another science fiction / fantasy idea of the Ghostbusters ghost trap. I'm like, it's like two of those. Those are already huge.
Everybody can visualize how big those are.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
Right.
That's how my brain works.
So I think, again, they didn't have prices actually in the brochure or on the website. You have to call them for a quote. I didn't get one. I assume these are tens of thousands of dollars again. I think what Budget Batman's going to do is he's going to take himself to your local REI co-op or something and buy a $200 climbing rope and then go to the hardware store and buy a $50 hook and go to the gym. Go to the gym for that last part of actually getting that hook up to the top of whatever
He would just
you need
have to like
go.
climb up the rope himself.
Yes.
Yeah, Budget
That's not
Batman
quite
needs to
it.
do the work. This is
No.
why the gym membership is so important, clearly.
It's not very
Well,
heroic,
yeah,
right?
it's like basic economics, right? If you don't have money, you have time usually, or so in this case, he has no money, so he has to take the time to climb a rope.
You
Love
know,
that.
it seems to me that people with the most money also have the most time. I'm just throwing that out there. They don't seem to be really doing anything productive in their day-to-day as far as I can work out. Just throwing
Well,
that out
as
there.
far as like expenditure, like energy expenditure versus
Right.
just like money expenditure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have to make choices. Some of us don't have all of them both. We can't all be Bruce Wayne.
Right. Again, I don't know why you keep bringing him up. But yeah, we can't all be Batman.
We can't all be... What? Okay. Please, move on.
Okay, so, vehicles. The Batmobile in the Nolan movies we talked about, $18 million. But there's a lot of other movies where it seems to be an entirely pure prototype one-off vehicle. Right?
Yeah.
What these really reminded me of is Le Mans hypercars, like the 24-hour race, the endurance race, where they design the craziest looking cars, and they have to be fast and reliable, and those things cost tens of millions of dollars to build. You can buy it's not road going, it's not road legal, but you can buy your own detuned version of Ferrari's last Le Mans winner. The 499p Modificata, it's modified, so you can't race with it. I put a link to that in the chat. You tell me that's not a Batmobile.
Oh, yeah, that's a Batmobile.
That's a Batmobile.
I mean, I guess if we had to make one.
Just paint it black, right?
Yeah, just like the song says.
Yeah.
I like how low to the ground it is.
Yeah.
Isn't that like bad isn't it difficult to maneuver that sometimes when it's so low?
Well, I mean, if you have to deal with something like a speed bump, yeah, it can be problematic. Yes.
City street with potholes and
great
curbs.
For high-speed corners on a track that doesn't have any major bumps. Getting around Gotham City, yeah, not so great. You can get your own,
I think I'm thinking about living in Houston and driving anywhere in Houston in something like a car like that, like a Lamborghini or anything like really low. Is miserable. There's too many potholes. And, it is Gotham City that we're talking about. We don't know where the person who asked this question lives, but I'm going to assume he doesn't live anywhere with like pristine roads. So we have to take those potholes into account.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No, Gotham's infrastructure is crumbling because of billionaires that are not paying their taxes.
Like Bruce Wayne.
Like that Bruce Wayne guy.
He doesn't pay his taxes.
The worst.
Anyway.
I mean, I assume he doesn't just because, I live in America in 2025.
You can get your very own P99 Modificata for $5.4 million.
Oh, God.
Or if you're on a budget, you can get a used 2004 Honda Civic in black for about $3,000.
Hey, there we go. Perfect.
I bet those are better on the potholes,
Yeah,
too.
definitely better on the potholes.
They're probably, and they're more conspicuous, right?
Yeah.
And they probably would also do better if you happen to be Batmaning your way through a residential area.
Yes.
The speed bumps are no problem.
Plenty of room in the trunk for your bag of rope.
For your stuff.
For your bag of rope.
For your stuff. Yeah.
Also, I just rented a Honda Civic when I was in LA with you, Julian, and it was very zippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very zippy, and I enjoyed
it. Absolutely.
I like a Honda.
Yeah.
If you need to get through traffic, though, right? Batman also apparently has a bat cycle. You can get a used motorcycle for another $1,000. If you really need it, that's optional.
Nice.
I don't think it's necessary. But if you're dealing somewhere with heavy congestion, you got to get to the bad guys quick.
You can probably, just get like a regular bicycle at the thrift store.
Oh, that's a good idea. Just a little fixie.
Yeah,
There's
25
no place
bucks.
for your grappling hook, though. There's no place for stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You got to
true.
get one with a
That's
basket,
hard.
like a
Also,
daisy basket on the front.
I feel like any sort of open-wheeled vehicle, bad mixed with a cape,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
what if
good
the
point.
cape gets caught in the wheel and then just snaps your neck like a twig?
Not good.
Yeah.
No capes.
No capes.
Not a good way to go out. Unnecessary risks.
Edna had it right. No capes.
Yeah. Speaking of the cape, right, in some movies or games, it can like stiffen out with an electrical current or something and become like bat wing shaped and slow him down as he's falling, or he can even fly. As somebody who's watched a lot of video of people in the early days of flight putting on big old dumb wings and jumping off roofs and breaking their legs, I'm just going to say that's physically not possible.
Yeah, not going to happen.
What you're going to do is you're going to take your grapnel hook, you're going to hook it to the top of whatever building you're on, and you're going to safely descend.
Safely descend.
Right.
That's what I think of when I think of Batman.
Just gingerly lowering himself gingerly into the midst of the crime.
It sounds like an OSHA guideline to being Batman. Like, here's what you do. Affix your grappling hook to the top of the building and then safely descend.
Make sure, secure it. Make sure it's taut. Okay. So, the bat, right? The actual jet or hovering, flying thing, what have you, depending on the universe. Cheapest ultralight helicopter I could find was about $37,000.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to know what you'd look like flying around on that, there's a link to it.
Oh, jeez.
Yasmin, do you have it pulled up?
Ooh.
Do you want to describe the majesty that is the ultralight helicopter?
There's no windshield to start with. There's no external structure. It's just a skeleton, and there's a man on a chair. Oh no, this is not good.
Like a plastic chair.
Yeah,
He looks like he's
chair.
on the ski lift.
Yeah. Basically, if you removed the wires from a ski lift and put 2 rotor blades above it.
Yeah. This is not, you know what? At this point, just either get a drone and just like fight your crime remotely that way, or just fly coach to wherever you're trying to get to. You know, just
I
book
think
a
you're
flight.
onto something here. I think if you attached a taser to a drone and you just fly it at the bad guy and it stuns them.
Yeah, because Batman does not use guns.
Yeah, in your little Honda Civic,
Right.
you like drive up while he's still incapacitated, and then you're nicked. Okay, so realistically, you're not getting an aircraft. It's just not happening.
Yeah, too much money. Not in the budget.
Batcave. That's just whatever your rent is. You can just conduct this from your apartment, you know? Bonus points if it's like a basement apartment. But if we're going with the analog of Gotham City, which is, of course, New York, median rent for a 1-bedroom is $4,250 a month. So that's basically the single most expensive thing on your budget so far. Your Batputer, whatever your computer costs. Let's say it's $3,000 for a nice one with a couple monitors. Police scanner, just download an app on your phone.
Yeah, you get those for like $5.
Yeah, if you want to never feel safe again, you can download an app called Citizen. I used to have it when I lived in some of the rougher parts of LA. I did not sleep well while it was installed on my phone.
Don't do it.
Training. Our expert Howes from earlier, he estimated that it costs Batman in order to do martial arts and fly his helicopters and everything that Batman does so well, $1.75 million in training. We're just going to get you a martial arts class for $250 a month and a gym membership for another $100 for $350 total in training. And
That's
the rest
a nice gym membership. That's pretty good.
Yeah. The rest you're going to learn on the job.
Yeah.
In gym?
Yeah.
For like a climbing gym specifically. So you can go up the grapnel hook.
That's a nice gym membership. You're really splurging on that.
And
I think
I was like,
that's
how much it costs?
Yeah, that's good.
Apparently.
Okay.
And then, the other things, you don't need to get your pilot's license. Actually, apparently, if you buy this ultralight helicopter that I linked to you, it says that you don't need to register it or a license, which...
wow.
That's not great. I don't love
worrying.
that. I don't love that.
Especially when you mention that there is no, crash zone in the front. There's no windscreen or...
You just fall off and die. Yeah. That's it.
You just fall off
those
and
are
die.
your only options is
You're
fall
done.
off and die.
Hope it was fun. So that's all I'm going to splurge on in terms of training. I figure you'll learn the rest on the job. You'll probably get beat up in your first several encounters with criminals. And then after that, maybe you'll get a little bit better after you get out of the hospital. So you'll probably need health insurance too. Anyway, I add up everything that I've quoted to you so far, and I get your grand total is about $64,270 for that first year as Batman. That's assuming that you don't get shot multiple times and have to keep buying new bulletproof vests and helmets, and also that the bullets...
pay hospital bills.
Yeah.
What kind of health insurance does he have?
Yeah. And then $51K of that is rent, though, and you're gonna be paying that anyway. So
if you take that out,
it's like $15K.
And a lot of the costs are upfront costs, right? They're not recurring costs over every year, every month. So that's also good. So
true.
Yeah, it gets less expensive to be Batman the longer you're Batman.
Yeah, I think really the biggest problem is you didn't include yet the vocal coaching to be able to talk like this all the time.
That's true. That's true.
So that's what, like $100 for a vocal coaching class?
I think if you get punched in the throat enough times, it'll just come naturally. That's my assumption.
Yeah, that is a
cheaper and more efficient.
more
I like
budget
it.
way to go. You're right. I'm sorry to bring it up.
Also, in these modern times that we're living in. Remember how Spider-Man, he's Peter Parker, he used to set up cameras that he could take pictures of himself as Spider-Man and then sell it to the newspaper.
Got it.
Batman can be like a Batman influencer these days, right? Get some of his costs paid for through sponsorships and things like that. You know, like how can we monetize Batman more? How can we monetize the budget Batman?
If you wonder how I keep my skin so velvety soft.
It's all that skin protection from only operating at night, from leading a nocturnal lifestyle and wearing a mask at all times to hide my identity.
Try St. Ives lotion.
Okay, so with all this in mind, I started to think that maybe there is, in fact, a better way. That Bruce Wayne character that you keep bringing up, Yasmin, he does some philanthropy.
Yeah.
You know, depends on who you ask.
I've heard, yeah.
It's possibly tens of millions of dollars in philanthropy through the Wayne Foundation's various charitable efforts. And I thought, is that more or less effective than being a lone vigilante running around a city trying to stop crime all by yourself?
Wait, so you mean instead of punching people and running around, we're just going to give them money?
Yes.
We're going to give people money to not do the crime.
Yes. Like, kind of crazy idea.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something to it. Now,
Okay.
In order to help me with this, I contacted somebody who works for a charity called Give Directly. Give Directly works with a lot of Nebula creators, actually.
Yeah.
And they reached out to us a while ago to ask if we wanted to do something with them. And I was like, well, if there's a question that comes up where this fits, maybe we'll see if
then we'll
we
call
can
you.
ask for your expertise. And then this Batman question was submitted by Win, and I was like, oh boy,
Perfect.
I wonder if Give Directly has any stats on their programs and if they affect crime rates in the countries to which they give people money. And would you believe it? They did. So somebody I know that I'm like not super friends with, like I don't know where he lives or anything, but he conducted an interview for Give Directly for me and sent me the video.
Oh my God.
What? I'm sorry, what's happening?
My friend, who is Budget Batman, conducted this interview.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go.
Jasmine, thank you for being here today. Before we begin, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and the organization for which you work?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Jasmine Miller. I'm Senior Research Manager at Give Directly. In Give Directly, we do what it says in the name. We give people cash directly. We've been doing this for a little more than 10 years and work in about 15 countries around the world.
Okay, giving people cash directly sounds like a bit of a waste when there's a lot of bat-themed vehicles and gadgets on the market, but I respect the work you do.
I know, I hear what you're saying, and I'd love to talk to you more about that.
As you know, I have been preparing to fight crime around the city. I've made a significant investment, and now I'm just curious, first of all, how effective do you think my crime-fighting efforts are going to be?
Okay, so great question, and I'm really glad you're thinking about this.
Thank you.
So I think I've done some research on it. It seems like the best case scenario, Batman's doing 20 to 24 criminals a night.
Okay, that seems like a lot of bad guys.
Yeah, that's a lot. So best case scenario.
That justifies the hover jet, right? To be able to get around Gotham quickly.
Exactly. So you can get back and forth, get all those 24, one night, still get your 8 hours.
Very necessary. Yeah, my beauty sleep.
Okay.
Can't have bags up for this cow.
In addition to that beauty sleep, assuming you take no vacation days per year, you're getting like 7 to 8.7 thousand criminals a year.
Wow. That's a lot of work for one bat.
Yeah. All right. So how's this sound? Sound good?
Okay.
Sound achievable?
7 to 8,000. All right. That's a reasonable target, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So thinking about that number.
True.
How much do you think you're spending a year as expensive Batman?
Okay. Well, he's a little more well off than me. He got kind of lucky with his family. Well, not so lucky sometimes. But I don't know, probably like $20,000.
Okay, I estimate about $100 million.
Okay, that's a bit more, yeah.
Yeah. Primarily, Alfred costs money every year. You got to pay him a salary. But
Yeah.
also maintenance of the gear and R&D, which is the biggest piece of it.
Alfred is Bruce Wayne's butler, and I don't see how he's connected here, so we
You're
can
right.
remove that figure.
You're right,
Thank
you're
you.
Okay, so take off $250K. for
Wow,
Alfred's.
Alfred's making bank.
I know.
So 100 million a year. And looking at stopping about 9,000 crimes. So we're talking about $11,000 per criminal per year in a year.
Okay.
So some other ways to use that money. There's a program that we tested in Liberia called STYLE that gives cognitive behavioral therapy plus cash transfers to youth at risk of committing crimes. And they found that they could reduce crime by about 50%. And it costs $530 per participant. So something like $1,000 per crime averted.
Oh.
That seems like a significant savings.
Yeah. So that's about 10% of Batman's costs, or Batman costs 10 times what STYLE does. So at Batman's annual budget, 100 million per year, he could reduce 100,000 crimes with the STYLE program. Or if he wanted to only do the same number of crimes that he's doing, something like 9,000 a year, it would only cost him 9.5 million, way less than what he's spending per year.
Wow.
Whoa.
So, yeah, you're basically 10 times more effective if you donate to charities that address the root causes of crime.
Huh.
Who knew?
I
Who
feel like
could
we
have
all
known?
I feel like we all kind of knew.
Yeah.
Who could have known
Yeah,
that was going to be the outcome?
who could have suspected? Which kind of brings us to the whole embezzlement thing,
Oh no, it's still
Right.
white collar crime.
right? And how much, like, if Batman is spending, by some estimates, $900 million a year, that could have gone to, like, public schools and roads.
After school, like programs to
Yeah.
keep kids engaged and off the streets in STEM, hopefully, but also art.
Rehab centers,
And
cognitive
humanities.
behavioral therapy, like she talks about.
Goodness.
So what
This
you're
is-
saying is, Batman would rather spend $900 million punching people than go to therapy.
Right. Or even send somebody else to therapy. He doesn't even have to go. He could send other people.
Send the Joker to therapy.
Right. So this is why we
Oh,
wins
wow.
like bonus points for defeating the Joker. You know what the Joker needs? Therapy.
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 Like probably a hug.
Same
Maybe
for,
some therapy.
okay, the Penguin, right? I looked into what are the motives of these different bat criminals, right? The Joker, nobody knows. He just seems generally insane and chaotic. Great. Therapy. That's what
Yeah.
that guy needs.
I
the
got it.
Penguin, though, apparently just wants to be loved and accepted. Right? And he just feels like an outcast, and that's kind of his driving motivator. I don't know. We could, like, build community, maybe get a rec soccer league going or something.
Yeah.
Just
That's
literally
nice.
be his friend.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
free. Just be his
Right.
friend for
His
free.
friend.
Mr. Freeze, he's motivated because his wife has a terminal illness and his research on how to cure it got cut off. Fun scientific research.
Fun some scientific research.
Or-
Infuriating.
Therapy. So the guy
Both.
can, deal with his grief.
Porque
like a
no los
normal
dos.
person, right? Catwoman burglarizes, I think, probably for fun and because she's really good at it, but a lot of crime is usually motivated by poverty. People steal stuff because they don't have any money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did you see her apartment? It was not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Michelle
exactly.
Pfeiffer one is the one I'm referring to.
Exactly.
But think of how much it costs to make that shiny thing. That's a lot of patent leather.
But she could sew also, so she wasn't paying somebody else to make it for her. She sewed it herself.
That's true.
Saving a lot of money. So I asked Jasmine specifics on why Budget Batman asked Jasmine why the
Kyle, leave that in.
why the crime rate would drop if you donated to these programs instead of, vigilantism. So how is it that giving directly is more effective at reducing crime than a swift punch to the face?
As much fun
I'm
as
never
a
gonna
swift
get over
punch to
this.
the face is in the box office, it is less effective in real life because really high rates of recidivism. So in the US, we have like 71% of people who are incarcerated, so arrested for crimes, go to jail, 71% get out and commit crime again. So really high rates. So punching someone in the face might avert that crime then, doesn't avert future crimes. Looking at CBT plus cash, this is both reducing current crimes, but also addressing the root cause of crime like poverty, mental health, and creating long-term impacts on crime rates, not just the one punch to the face.
Jasmine, I think you might be forgetting, though, that if their face and legs and arms are broken, that it'll be a lot harder for them to commit crimes.
True. That is true. So I got to take out permanently the people who are permanently in a body cast.
Yes. So I think we're maybe making up a little bit there.
Okay. So maybe let's take that. Yeah. Let's take that 71% recidivism and reduce it to 50%, right?
Yeah.
What you think 1 in 3 people that you punch ends up in a body cast, or
for life.
Yeah.
Because I'm the good guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, still at 50% recidivism, that's a really high rate. That cash and CBT is trying to reduce that long-term rate, get it much lower than 50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. I think she lays it out quite well. And of course, big shout out to Give Directly for all the work that they do, and for Jasmine for being willing to talk to Budget Batman. So
whoever he may be,
whoever that mysterious crime fighter is.
Budget Batman is just someone with like a Batman filter over it. You know, like if that's all Budget Batman needs to be.
Hey, he spent money on this,
you know?
Wow.
Anyway, so listeners, if you want to get involved, Budget Batman asked what you might be able to do if you want to have something like the impact of Batman for much less money. If people wanted to have the same impact as Batman, what are some of the organizations that they could maybe donate to?
I think that there are lots of different places in the world that crime happens. So internationally, Give Directly, the organization I work for, transfers money to 15 different countries around the world. And so if you're looking at an international crime reduction, Give Directly is a great organization to support. But locally in the US, organizations like Big Brother, Big Sister are all focused really on looking at mental health, looking at reducing systematic causes of poverty, and trying to prevent future crimes.
Jasmine, thank you very much. I'm going to, in light of some of the information you shared, anoint you as an honorary crime fighter as well.
I'm so honored to receive this title, and I wish you all the best in your vigilantism.
Thank you.
Hope that you can find the most cost-efficient way to avert crime.
I will, but for now, the city needs me.
Farewell.
Oh, no.
That was so cringy.
He's out there somewhere, fighting crime.
Wow. Props to Jasmine,
Thank
who
you,
is
Budget
not
Batman.
Yasmin.
Thank you.
And props to Jasmine for dealing with Budget Batman's
Budget Batman.
craziness.
To be fair, I also had to deal with Budget Batman just now. I experienced it as part of my audio experience with you, Trace.
You got the full visual too. You got to see him bat-lit and everything.
You know
it was
what?
a lot.
And maybe some of our listeners will get to see it someday too. Soon.
Hint, 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 hint.
Hint, hint.
Anyway, if said listeners, though, want to get involved, Give Directly has been doing good work. And like I said, they've teamed up with a lot of Nebula creators right now. They're really focused on helping a particular village in Kenya. That little bit goes a very long way over there. So if you want to get involved with that, you can go to givedirectly.org/nebula. And we'll put a link to that in our show notes as well. So thanks to them.
Cool. Well, with that, I think we've got our answer for Budget Batman. The answer's something like $15,000 plus wherever your rent is.
Or 1/10 of that will have the same impact if donating to the proper charity.
Perfect. I love that. Let's take a quick break and then come back with Yasmin's question.
Welcome back to That's Absurd. Please elaborate. We just covered what a hypothetical Batman would be able to do, and now, Yasmin, we have your question.
My question is a little less elaborate than your question, but I had a lot of fun researching it. So the question I chose was from Emily, and it was, where did the Easter Bunny get the eggs?
Oh.
Bunnies don't lay eggs. This is true. So
Yeah.
whose eggs are they? Why does the Easter Bunny have them? Why are children sent to collect the eggs? Is the Easter Bunny a bunny at all, or some other creature that does lay eggs that either looks like a bunny or is choosing to don a bunny costume?
Whoa.
Okay, first, when I first read this question, I love the idea of like a shape-shifting, incognito, alien-like creature that's just like cosplaying as a bunny and like stealing and hiding eggs once a year.
Oh,
so that was the first image that came into my mind. And then I was thinking of like Bigfoot, because there are some who believe that Bigfoot is some kind of intergalactic, interspatial species that comes here to like mine our minerals.
There are people that think this?
Why not?
I don't know if I'm in like some weird corners of the internet, but that is a theory of Bigfoot. That it's just like, that's why, you know, he's so elusive, because he's a shapeshifter or something like that. And I was like, is that also the Easter Bunny? But I don't think we really need to go down that path, because I think I found the answers that I was looking for in researching the question. So
I want to go down this path a little bit, because I love the synergy that sometimes people make between different conspiracy theories.
Please tell me
there
more.
was another shooter on the grassy knoll, and it was the aliens from Roswell. I live for that.
Like a cameo? There's a cameo from other conspiracy theories.
And the idea that like Bigfoot is also an extraterrestrial is so funny to me.
That's what came to mind was like, maybe, you know, if the Easter Bunny is an extraterrestrial or some kind of shapeshifter or some kind of being that is dressing up or shape-shifting into a bunny-like form, right?
I can see it. Can you imagine they visit and they're like, what is the most prominent life form?
Bunnies,
these rabbits,
right? There's
these
a lot of
rabbits
bunnies
breed
around.
prolifically. They are very successful, right? And then like one
and
gets
Bigfoot
caught.
was trying to be a human, but maybe it's like it's not as good as shape-shifting into earth forms, and so it just ended up as like a Bigfoot, you know?
Yeah. Or it met a really hairy dude, like
somebody from the mountains of Western Canada, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, this is the pinnacle of human beauty.
Then everybody like was trying to take pictures of them and like yelled at them, and we're like, ah! And so,
And we're like, yeah, that's what we do.
yeah.
That's what I do in this form. So. Anyway, okay, so is the Easter Bunny stealing the eggs? It would theoretically have to steal the eggs, because bunnies, as we have already established, do not lay eggs.
Okay, so we do know that. All right.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
and
factual.
we're assuming again that these are earthly bunnies. They're not space bunnies. They're not some kind of. So if there's no space involved, then maybe there's magic involved, right? It's a very magical time of year. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of transitioning happening during the Easter season, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So magic, maybe there's magic. So I do want to clarify before we start off that a lot of what we're about to discuss, it has some questionable and unreliable sources, as I'm sure you can imagine. But, you know, it's kind of interesting because it gets into the reality of folklore, right? And how something can start as a small something, somebody said somewhere, and then it became the Easter Bunny that we still know and celebrate today. And, you know, all of the Easter egg hunts, et cetera, all the way down to the White House with the Easter egg roll and all that. So
Cool.
If you can afford eggs these days.
Yeah, these days.
well, it's going to be a rough Easter.
It
all right?
is.
It's gonna
It
be a
is.
rough
We're
Easter
going
for a
to
lot
need
of
those
families,
bunnies
okay?
to start actually laying some eggs with the way things are going.
Yeah. Also, just another parameter I want to lay out, we're going to be discussing the Easter Bunny, not the origins of Easter itself, because that gets very complicated. That's a whole other question. That's a whole other story. We're going to delve into it a little bit because there is some overlap, but not really. So
Got it.
the question, whose eggs are they?
Yeah.
Right? Good question. Good place to start. The legend has it that they are actually the bunny's eggs.
What? But we
I
just
know.
established they don't lay them
I know.
eggs.
You heard me right. You really did. And it was good that we made that distinction, that we established that, right? And your response is understandable. So
Okay, I'm willing to grant ancient people a lot of leeway in not understanding biology and the way animals are related and the characteristics that related animals have. But on the other hand, ancient people must have bred bunnies.
you
right?
can observe, right? You can observe a bunny for long enough to be like, oh, they don't lay eggs, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, maybe they go into a den or something, and that's where they give birth to a lot of young. And then,
Okay, Julian, you're forgetting about the magic. Remember?
right? Sorry, excuse
the
me.
magic.
Excuse me. That has to be
So-
it.
Julian.
Because,
You're forgetting about the magic.
Never forget about the magic.
Never,
okay?
Julian.
Sorry,
forget the
jeez,
magic.
okay.
Okay, so I actually started my search for this answer with the Lindt Chocolate Company, right? They had it on their website.
Sure.
The Easter Bunny originated here in the United States.
What?
According to them, right? Amongst German immigrants in the Pennsylvania Dutch area. The Osterhaus or Osterhaus is an egg-laying hare that is said to have brought brightly colored eggs to good children. So if you were kind of like Santa Claus, like if you're good, you get some colorful eggs. It's less exciting than Santa Claus because Santa brings you toys. And I don't know what children are doing with eggs, but you know. So the children they would build nests for the Easter Bunny to lay its eggs in to give it to them. So that instead of putting out your stocking, you build a nest for the Easter Bunny. Okay.
Okay.
So as with many Christian and Jewish holidays, right, there's a fairly strong case to be made that, you know, the holidays traditions that are actually celebrated in conjunction with the ascribed Judeo-Christian significance, it originated in paganism, right, in different pagan celebrations that happened throughout the Germanic or the Anglo-Saxon cultures across Europe. That also gets a little bit complicated and tricky, right? Because a lot of what we're talking about here is dealing with Germanic or Anglo-Saxon traditions, right? So it doesn't even take into consideration the fact that Christianity and Judaism, it spreads out all across the Middle East, Africa, and all that. It doesn't take any of that into consideration. So just something to keep in mind. So it's easy to see how the link would be made, though, from Christianity and a lot of the modern celebrations that we have and the paganism, because like, why are bunnies involved in the resurrection of Jesus and why are Christmas trees involved in the birth of Jesus, right? So the understanding is that a lot of these pagan holidays were kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not usurped, but just like incorporated into Christian Catholic celebrations. And,
absorbed.
there was like a couple of popes throughout history who declared it so. They said, you know, take some of those pagan altars or whatever, you know, like places of worship and convert them into churches. And another pope in 601 CE, Pope Gregory converted pagan temples to Christian churches and co-opted pagan festivals to celebrate Christian or Catholic saints. And in 325 AD, Emperor Constantine declared the resurrection of Christ would be the primary celebration of Easter. Okay, so we're introducing, I'm trying to like lay out some ground rules and some ground, just like some base level understandings, because it does get fairly complicated. And I did try to like wean it all down into something that made sense, right?
Right.
So what have we established so far? That there's probably some pagan origins with all of this, that bunnies do not lay eggs.
Great.
And also, what's the last one, Julian? Never forget
the magic. Never forget the magic.
That there is magic, and all of this is a little questionable. Okay, so we have all that established. Easter, what time of year does it happen? Springtime.
Spring.
Right? Springtime. This year, Easter falls on April 20th. That is happy 420, however you choose to celebrate coming up. But the celebration of Easter and the bunny, all of it has a lot to do, a strong correlation with the spring equinox, right? And that is when we go from winter, which is a cold, dead time of year, to springtime, which is when everything is reawakened and rebirthed and renewed, and it's colorful, right? All the flowers are blooming, all the birds fly back home from the south, all the animals come out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, Julian, actually, because
no problem.
It's all about fertility, right?
Yes,
it's all
baby.
about fertility. So speaking of fertility,
sure.
Here is where the magic comes into play. Okay.
Got it.
There's a story. We're going to talk about this egg-laying hare, right?
Got it.
Not so much a bunny, but a hare.
Okay. What's the difference between a bunny and a hare?
There's a difference. You know, like there's a difference between like a dolphin and a porpoise, you know? Or an ape and a monkey, you know,
I
like
know
they're
that
similar,
one.
but
One
or
has
a
a
raven
tail.
and a crow. So like same, but different. So
Top of your hair.
Top of my head. I think hares are bigger, and that's all I can think of. I'm sure they're
one of them has bigger ears too.
Yeah.
Probably the hair.
There's difference in the little boople snoots and the
boople snoots.
the wingadingos. You know, these are technical bunny terms.
I want to say that bunnies are cuter, like bunny rabbits are cuter, but that is subjective and it's not very nice. It's not a very nice thing that I just said for the hares.
But I don't think they understand English, so you're probably fine. They
don't listen.
Okay. So there was this Anglo-Saxon goddess named Eostre. like E.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Stray, right?
Sounds
so you can
right.
see how we get there. The Germanic equivalent of Eostre would be Ostara, and that is often referred to as the pagan celebration of the spring equinox, which happens in mid-March, like spring break time, actually, right?
Got it.
So Eostre, the story goes, was a goddess of fertility and femininity and rebirth and awakening, all things that, as Julian pointed out, are associated with rabbits or hares, right? And so it's easy to see how all this stuff would be associated with the spring equinox, because as we said, the earth is awakening from the dead of winter, being reborn into spring. There's a lot of newness and a lot of colors going on in the springtime. So one day, Eostre was entertaining some children and a bird flew over to her. Now, do birds lay eggs?
Yeah.
Yes, what do you think?
Oh,
They
sure.
do. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We're disagreeing.
Birds do
on this,
lay
but yes,
eggs.
they
That
do,
is
right?
important. Let's keep
Okay.
that in mind. Okay.
Got it.
So the bird flew over to Eostre. She decided to transform the bird into a hare, which again is associated with all the fertility and stuff, right?
Got it.
Sure.
But hares are also said to be able to transcend realities and travel between realms.
What?
Right? So,
What?
they follow the
Because they
moonlit
go in the
paths
rabbit hole.
they go into rabbit holes.
what?
They're associated with the moon. There's a lot of like feminine
Cool.
imagery here and symbolism, right? So I'm just
Neat.
it's not really relevant, but there's a lot of just like transformation and femininity that is all coming together during this very fertile time of year. Okay?
I love that.
So that's just fun stuff.
I didn't know hares could use the Bifrost. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, or they can go through the matrix and all that, right?
Neat.
So
You do follow the white rabbit in the Matrix.
exactly.
Oh,
So,
that. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yes, Alice in Wonderland.
it all is connected. See? Yeah. Okay, so Eostre had this bird and she turned it into a hare because she's like, this will be fun. The kids will think that's cool. And they're like, whoa, so cool. They were all very entertained.
Super mean
But
thing to
then-
do to a bird, though.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So confusing for that bird.
Yeah.
The bird was not happy about it, right? So the
Oh.
bird is now a hare, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I liked my life better when I was a
Right.
bird, and I wish I could go back. And so the kids now are playing with this hare who's sad that it's not a bird anymore.
Oh,
And
no.
so they go to Eostre, they're like, man, the hare is so sad. Can we turn it back into a bird?
Right.
And she's like, okay, my bad. Let's turn it back into a bird.
Good for her.
But she can't do it.
They must have had a really good argument. That's
Yeah,
just like,
I mean, it
oh,
was
it's
just sad. Like, I guess it looked
Yeah.
sad enough. So they were
Huh.
just like, okay, yeah, it
Cool.
does look sad.
There's
So,
one depressed bunny.
see, so unfortunately, things only move forward in time. You can't go backwards. Once something is done, it's done.
Sure.
Right? So she tried to turn it back into a bird and she could not do it. And she's like, you know
no.
what? Let's wait until next spring. Let's wait until the next spring equinox. That way I can bolster my powers, my magical powers, with the powers of the burgeoning spring,
Okay.
right? When my powers will be even stronger. I can call
Got
upon the powers of spring to help me with this, right?
Understood,
So she
yeah.
did that. So on the next equinox, she was able to turn the hare back into a bird, but only for a little while, right?
Oh,
So
no.
then it would turn back into a hare. So it turned it into a bird, and the bird was so excited, right? So it laid some eggs.
Oh.
Then it turned back into a hare because it was only temporary.
Imagine if you had to lay eggs and you just had to hold it until next spring.
If you were like, if I was a mammal woman and I felt the need to lay eggs,
You know?
yeah, that would be uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable.
I love that this goddess of fertility and springtime used up all of her magic apparently on one party trick that was kind of a dick to one specific bird.
Yeah, to one bird. Wow.
Nobody said she was efficient or made
Yeah, I
good
know.
decisions,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
It
This
was
is
for,
why you
it was for
shouldn't.
the sake of children's happiness,
Yeah.
she thought, you know?
This is why
So
people
she-
should consider their role models more carefully.
Yeah.
Just because somebody can do a party trick like turning
Yeah.
a bird into a bunny rabbit doesn't mean that
This
they're
is why I don't
worth
have role models, Trace.
your-
I just don't do
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
No faith in people. Not
That
even
does
Batman.
actually that
Or
tracks with
this
Yasmin.
goddess. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So the bird laid an egg, or laid some eggs, but then it turned back into a hare. So now as a hare, it decorated the eggs in bright, pretty colors and gave them as gifts to Eostre and also to the children. Because remember,
Oh.
the children lobbied on behalf of the hare to be turned back into a bird. And so the hare now was like, I was able to be a bird for a little bit again. So thank you, children, for giving me that back. And now every year it gets to be a bird for a little bit. Yes, Julian, you had a question.
If I understand this correctly,
Yes.
what you are suggesting is the Easter Bunny shows up to my house,
Okay.
briefly transforms into a bird.
No.
Oh.
No. Transforms into a bird and then decorates the eggs and then shows up to your house.
Oh, okay. So it's at home the night
It's at
before
home.
Easter. Okay.
Yeah.
It goes through a transition. It poops out a bunch of eggs. It paints them. Some point before then, and when it arrives at my house, it turns back into a rabbit.
Yeah.
Hides the eggs, and then all the kids are like, the Easter Bunny. But
Well, you're supposed to lay out a nest so it's not supposed to hide it, you know?
Oh.
You're supposed to put a nest for it to do that, but kids don't make nests anymore.
the kids these
now
days.
Just another,
So now
kids these days.
they don't make nests anymore. It's like, it feels like in Peter Pan where you have to clap to believe in
Right.
Tinkerbell to save her life. They're not doing it, right?
They're not doing it.
So maybe they just have to, maybe the Easter Bunny now has to hide the eggs someplace safe where they won't get hurt.
Ah,
You know.
okay. Okay.
Because there's no receptacle. There's no place for the Easter Bunny to put the eggs.
So conceivably, if we laid out a nest before Easter, when they show up the next day, they should just be in that nest.
In the nest, yeah. Yeah.
If we're being rigidly adherent to tradition here.
Yes.
Which is
Yeah.
that is how this podcast works. We're
Yes.
rigidly adherent to tradition.
We're nothing if not totally reverent.
Yeah, all the time.
That's good to know.
Okay.
Okay. So that is potentially how we got the tradition of a bunny or a hare delivering eggs to children. And I like that better than the possibility of like the Easter Bunny just being this mischievous, almost sinister creature that is just like stealing up eggs, just gobbling up everybody's eggs right at the beginning of this rebirth period, you know, almost like impeding spring's ability to be sprung. That's kind of the existing belief, I think, of the Easter Bunny. I don't know if people think of it as that sinister, but you know, that's kind of the way that the legend plays out. It would have to be stealing these eggs from somewhere. But in this version of the story, it's not stealing the eggs, it's laying the eggs itself and giving its eggs as gifts to people. So that's nice. So again, we don't have a whole lot of evidence that this is real, but it is real in the sense of folklore. Right.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the sense that the Anglo-Saxon pagans celebrated this goddess in any kind of widespread way there's not a whole lot of evidence to support that.
Yeah.
But, you know, somebody said it once upon a time that this might be what happened. And then that has taken over. And then as immigration happened, it came over to the US. And then the Catholic Church specifically trying to integrate a lot of these pagan traditions. This is where we're at today, you know, and now it's for candy companies. And I was telling you guys during the break, you know, I've been hopped up on the Cadbury mini eggs.
You've been doing research. You're on the CAD.
Yeah, I'm on the CAD, for real.
CAD.
I don't even eat that much sugar normally. So I feel some type of way right now, but I'm not, you know, I have no regrets. So let's see. So there is a few other bits of lore. Oh, I'm sorry, Julian, did you have a question?
Well, I just had a third hypothesis, but go ahead and share your lore first.
Okay, so there's a little bit of other stuff, and some of the listeners might actually be a little bit more familiar with this. For one, the eggs might have to do something with the fact that Easter is celebrated right after Lent in Catholicism. So like during Lent, you have to abstain from a lot of things. And so on Easter, you get to have a lot of things back. So if you're not eating eggs during Lent, I guess you get to, Easter's your day to go crazy on the eggs, you know? And I'm sure that's the first thing that everybody wants to get back to is their eggs. But then there is another Catholic explanation for why we decorate eggs for Easter. So at Easter, Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And the story goes that Mary Magdalene was the first one to witness the resurrected Christ. She saw him come back, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So upon witnessing the resurrection, she went to Rome to tell Emperor Tiberius Caesar that Jesus had risen from the dead. In her hand, she held an egg. And she proclaimed, Christ is risen. The emperor said, no, he hasn't.
No
way, ain't no how.
No,
girl.
he's not. So then he told her, Christ is no more risen. Then the egg in your hand is red. And then before everyone's eyes, the egg in her hand turned a bright shade of red. And everyone's like, oh my God, he has risen.
Whoa.
So there
That
is
proved
that.
it. And then the Christians were only oppressed in Rome for another 300 years.
You know what? It's
a step in the right direction.
Despite the incontrovertible divine act that happened before this emperor's
in front
eyes.
of everyone's faces. Yes, in front of every we all saw it. Everyone saw it, right?
Everybody saw it.
So the question then is, why did she have an egg in her hand? It's unclear. We don't know why. We don't know why.
I love that. I love that so much. I love that.
We don't know.
Listen, we've got it all figured out, the whole explanation. Why is it red? Because Mary, her egg turned red because the emperor doubted her. Why did she have an egg? Needs sources.
Don't talk about it.
Listen, we've got an answer for everything.
Don't worry about
it. Why exactly she had an egg, but everything else, it all comes together.
Why did she present the egg? Even if she had an egg in her pocket, why did she?
That's not a good way to carry eggs. I've seen that I Love Lucy episode where she's smuggling eggs and she tango dances. You know the one.
So
this
some
is a hip
say
reference.
that she had her eggs with her when she went to Jesus Christ's tomb that morning.
Got it.
And whenever she witnessed a resurrection.
Then she got to Rome?
To Rome? Same day?
It still makes no sense. She never stopped home to drop off her eggs.
Oh, it's that stop at home really would have been the delay.
And they did not spoil on the multi-day journey through the desert.
What are we talking about? Weeks. We're talking weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So why did she have the eggs at the tomb? I don't know. I guess she collected her eggs and went straight to the tomb. Did not stop home. She was going to
throw them at the Romans guarding it.
Oh, yeah.
And so then when Jesus resurrected, then the eggs turned red. Also unclear as to why that happened, right? And then she said, I know what I'll do is I'll take another white egg and I'll show it to the emperor and he'll see when it turns red. But then the emperor is the one who said it'll turn. It's a little clunky, right?
Very interesting. Is this also why magicians use little red balls when they're doing sleight of hand magic? Because there's a lot of similarities
everything
here.
To do with Mary Magdalene. Yes. It's probably exactly related to Mary Magdalene.
I appreciate all this info because I was raised Greek Orthodox, and like whenever we celebrated real Easter, which by the way is on like a different day than everybody else celebrates it because their calendars are different. Because still on the old Gregorian calendar. No, we're still on the old Julian calendar.
I was going to say, we use the Gregorian.
Yeah, we're on the Gregorian now. No, Greek Orthodox, the Orthodox churches are still on the Julian.
I thought I was just not up to date on calendar.
Oh, you haven't heard about the newest calendar? No, but our Easter celebrations, we always had all red eggs. And as a kid, I was like, why are ours all red and everybody else's are pastel and colorful and stuff?
Now you know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
That's why. Mary Magdalene.
Now I know, and yet I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it makes a lot more sense that it was an existing pagan symbolism symbol for rebirth and all that. And then the Catholic Church was like, also Mary Magdalene had an egg, and this is what happened. So I was going to include that a lot of Orthodox churches now, they still only dye the eggs red. But thank you for confirming that.
Cool.
That was fun. It's also worth mentioning that for all of the symbol of the bunnies and the fertility that we got into, the Easter mascot in all Eastern celebrating places is not always a bunny. Sometimes it's a cuckoo bird or a fox. So all of our symbolism kind of just goes out the window there. I know a fox symbolizes things that are very different from fertility. I know, aren't foxes into eggs though?
Yeah,
like, don't they
stealing
steal
eggs and eating hens.
So do magpies, though. I was thinking about it. Magpies like to steal eggs. So
I heard magpies are the worst.
Yeah, they steal eggs, too.
I heard they attack people.
They steal eggs? Or do they kick them? I know cuckoo birds kick eggs out of the nest, and then they lay their eggs, and then they leave.
I think the magpie is the one that eats and, steals and eats duck eggs. A lot of birds eat other birds' eggs. It's real.
Yeah.
It's tough out there. Bird-on-bird violence is really high.
Nasty little reptiles.
Yeah, dinosaurs are mean. What can we say?
I had a friend in Australia, and I was like, I don't want to go to Australia because I feel like everything's trying to attack you or kill you or something.
Sure.
And I was like, even your birds are attacking people, like your magpies just attack people for no reason. And he was like, oh, that's no big deal. Don't your eagles attack people in America? And I was like, no, that does not happen.
No,
certainly do not.
Because we used a pesticide that nearly caused their extinction. Clearly, they don't attack anybody.
Well, that's sad.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we fixed it now thanks to efforts by various government
agencies. So that's what I have on Easter and the Easter Bunny. So to answer the questions, the Easter Bunny is presumably laying the eggs, him or herself. I guess herself.
Probably her, but
So we've got
magic.
Bird shape-shifting back and forth between being a bunny
Yep.
or thief.
Right.
Here's my third hypothesis.
Okay.
Nobody's ever actually seen the Easter Bunny, right? Right?
Oh.
Maybe you catch a
Say
glimpse of
more.
it. Maybe you see like kind of a brown furry lump, right? And you go like, that's got to be a mammal of some kind, right?
Okay.
Right? But then it leaves eggs. Trace, can you think of any mammals that lay eggs?
I can.
A
You
platypus? The
A
Easter platypus?
The Easter platypus.
Perry the platypus!
Perry the Easter
Perry
platypus.
the Easter platypus. That's my
Oh, God.
that's my scenario. What if there was a
Ew.
platypus?
And it like shoots poisonous spurs at you.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
split.
the back-
fights off the other holiday creatures.
Feet, yeah, they have little
It's also
spurs.
kind of like a bird because it has webbed toes and
Yeah.
a duckbill and
Yeah.
This actually fits a lot more with somewhat dysfunctional goddess magic because they're like, I turned it into a bird.
Right.
Then I tried to turn it back into a bunny rabbit.
Yeah, it's
but I
kind
could
of
only,
in
it
Now
didn't
it
really
is.
work.
Now
so
it's
now it's this.
Yeah.
Still lays eggs.
It's
It's
in
part
bet-
bird, part bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
Honestly, this hypothesis is holding a lot of water for me.
My children will be taught about the Easter platypus.
Perry.
Perry the Easter platypus. He'll bring you the eggs. Yeah, I think it works.
That's all it takes though, right? You know, if we have all this folklore, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
Next
Yeah.
thing you know, just give it a few centuries and Perry the platypus is going to be everywhere.
Our
think-
dozens of listeners are going to spread
Yeah,
this everywhere.
we're also trying to start with our limited podcast influence, right? We're like, no more clockwise or counterclockwise. It's north sunwise or south sunwise.
sunwise,
That's a
that's right.
thing.
Yep.
Now, in the coming spring, it'll be soon, 420, mark your calendar, prepare for the visit of the Easter platypus.
Honestly, great.
Yes. And
How does one even prepare for that? I'm
by
not
building
ready
a
for that.
nest so it doesn't have to hide the eggs and you don't have to
Yeah.
resort to child labor.
We don't have to go searching for them. Yeah.
Wow. Jeez. Thank you, Yasmin, for all that information.
You're
Let's
welcome.
take another break and then come back with another question that I get to answer that Yasmin asked.
Welcome back to this podcast. I'm Yasmin. I'm the guest. And Trace, the host, one of the hosts, is going to be answering the question next. And it's a question that I asked him, and I don't remember what my question was. So I'm very
It's going to be a
excited to hear
surprise
what he
for
has
you,
to say.
too.
There's a lot of skin in this game, I could tell.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember my question. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. It's a good one. I think you guys are going to like it.
Okay, so you asked, would we all be more aggressive if we lived under a Martian red sky? And then you elaborated, or would our eyes adjust and it would just be our new normal? Would color theory be different? Blood, fire, aggression, blue, sky? It was good. It was a good question.
Okay. I'm down.
So,
It sounds like a lot of random thoughts that I threw at you.
Yeah, it sounds like you were hopped up on the cad.
You know,
yeah, you're really
Probably.
You were
hopped up on
riding the cad.
who knows what I was on.
Riding I love it. Yes, yes, exactly. So I knew exactly why you asked this because color theory is one of your things. You are very good at home decor and home design. You typically go with like darker, bolder colors, greens and muted palettes and things, lots of natural.
You know, I actually had a red bedroom in
Yeah.
high school. I painted my room red in high school. And at the time, I must have been like 15 or 16, but I did look it up. I was like, what is this going to do to me? Is this going to make me crazy? Like, am I going to be more aggressive? Am I going to feel more stressed out when I'm trying to study in this red room? I
Yeah.
was okay, I think, emotionally. And like,
I mean, as well as one can be okay at 16, 17 emotionally. I feel
exactly,
like,
right? There was a lot of other factors to take into consideration. So
Right.
I feel fine, but as fine as I'm going to feel at 16 years old. So,
That's right.
so yeah.
Julian, do you care about color? Are you a color person?
I'm white, so I'm actually colorblind. I don't
Okay, Julian.
see-
Okay.
No, I am like not an aesthetic person at all. My wife will tell you like her favorite games are Animal Crossing, where you just like decorate your island, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I
Got
can't
it.
get into it.
Wow.
So no, I'm very like not aesthetically motivated in anything I do, which I think is obvious when you look at me for any amount of time.
Wow. I mean, yes, that's true.
Thanks.
The ancient world would disagree with you, however. color has been a huge economic driver. Similar like to the spice trade, which you learn a lot about in school, right? That people would take ships and sail them all the way to the other side of the planet, trying to just make their food not taste so terrible. And color was exactly the same. Like we could get pigments, which are what you would call you dye something with. We would get these pigments from all over the world and try and pull them together to make incredible colors. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that before I get to the answer of your question, Yasmin. So
Can't wait.
most pigments were made from like stones or flowers. They could also be from insects and other like earthy things. So there's a lot of reds and browns and greens in the ancient world. But there was the most famous pigment. Anybody know what it is? It's a blue pigment, you know? Yeah.
Lapis lazuli?
Yes, lapis lazuli. So this was mined in what is today Afghanistan, and it was a bluish purple cyan blue stone. If you're a nerd out there and want to know what it looks like, which I'm sure you do, it's hex code 26619C. Yeah, isn't that cool? So you could type that into your whatever. I've got it here for you guys in the chat. So this is lapis lazuli.
Ooh, it's beautiful.
So it's like a very nice blue. And so lapis lazuli is a rock, to be clear. You would build a fire against a mountainside, heat up the rock on the mountainside, and then splash it with water. It would crack, and you could get the mineral out of the rock. And again, this is modern-day Afghanistan. So it's like an ultramarine. When you polish it, it looks very blue. You can ground it into a powder. You can turn it into this pigment that you can use to paint or to make stuff with. King Tut's head mask, very famous, has a lot of blue stripes. That's lapis lazuli. The Vermeer painting, Girl with a Pearl Earring,
Classic.
is... the blue color in her is painted. Vermeer used lapis lazuli, the pigment. So pretty cool. So you've seen this color before, and it's been around a long time. And in fact, the pigment was more expensive than gold, by weight. So using it was really great.
Do you have any tidbits about it being used in Renaissance religious paintings and before that era?
Yeah, I mean, they used it. I didn't focus too much on the Renaissance, but yeah, because there's a lot of paintings done then that used it.
A fun fact I know is because it was so expensive, they would reserve it for the most important figures. So you often see the Virgin Mary in blue because they saved the lapis lazuli for her.
Cool. That's so neat. I didn't know that. Yeah, and that actually applies, I think, across the few different colors I'm about to mention. We saved a lot of those for important reasons. You use them as accents. You use them for people who were rich or special. For example, there's another color called Tyrian purple. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's one of the most famous colors in the ancient world also. Tyrian purple. So kind of, you want to describe that for the audience there, Yasmin, because you're such good with color?
Yeah, it's definitely more red than blue on the purple scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very nice and warm and calming. It looks like a Benjamin Moore color.
Yeah, it does.
What I'm thinking of.
It's a nice color. It's a 66023C on the hex code for those playing the home game.
Could be cute in a kitchen, you know?
It's magenta red, wine-ish, I think. I actually laughed when I saw it because they call it so famous, but it just looks like a wine color. The sail of royals and pharaohs, they used this purple so that everyone knew that that was like the king or the queen or whatever was sailing by and they would get out of the way. And it wasn't just the Europeans who had cool colors. There's Han purple, also known as Chinese purple. It was used on those famous Han soldiers that they found. Han purple. Does that look purple to you?
Barely.
Yeah.
It's very blue
So much,
with a hint of purple in there. Yeah.
Yeah. This is hex color 5218FA. And yeah, this was a very famous color also in China. Then there's cinnabar, another famous color.
With the mercury.
It's, this one's with the mercury. It's a red sulfide of mercury, by the way. I'm not getting into the chemistry yet. I'm going to come back to it.
Okay.
So cinnabar it
orange.
kind of looks like vermilion almost. They also called it, one source I read called it dragon's blood, which is cool. Very, very cool sounding. And of course, the New World had their own blue as well. Maya blue, very common in Central and South Americas. Incan blue also exists. You know, everybody had kind of like a blue. Bright blue, I think Maya blue. This is 73C2, but the most famous blue in the ancient world. Any guesses?
Cobalt?
Egyptian blue.
Egyptian blue. It was the very first artificial pigment ever made. It's a really vivid kind of darkish blue. It almost looks like a navy and a royal blue got together and had a little friend. I don't know. What do you think, Yasmin? Would you agree with that?
It looks like what you think of like a just blue. When you think of just like a standard blue. Yeah. You would think of this. Yeah. It's like a Crayola blue.
Its hex is 1034A6.
King Tut's sarcophagus, though, did not have Egyptian blue, is what you're saying, though.
Lapis lazuli.
Well, it was using lapis lazuli, but they probably used, because it's more expensive, they probably used Egyptian blue as a pigment for things as well. But this was the first synthetic blue pigment. It comes from a blue calcium copper silicate. Basically, you mix like sand with this like salt that you get on the bottom of lake beds, hydrated sodium carbonate or ash. You mix it with copper oxide. You heat it to like 850 to 1000 C, and you get this kind of bluish substance that you can crush up. Romans eventually come to Egypt and they're like, I'm going to take this. And they took it back to Rome and called it ceruleum. And Pliny the Elder wrote all about it. The Egyptians would put it in the crowns of their kings and queens. They used it for thousands of years. This was invented like 5,000 years ago. It's like insane. It glows under infrared, by the way, fun fact. So you can tell it's the only one of these that glows. And so when you shine an infrared light on an ancient statue, you can tell if they used like Egyptian blue on it, which is really cool.
That's how, like the Antiques Roadshow where you show up with your sarcophagus and you're like, it's covered in lapis lazuli. And they're like, oh, actually, it's Egyptian blue. This was a poor pharaoh.
Actually, it's not blue. It's cerulean.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you guys get that reference, by the way?
I do not.
Oh, it's from The Devil Wears Prada, where she just like reads Anne Hathaway's character so
sweater.
hard over the blue sweater.
Yeah,
Nice.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I had blocked it out because I still think lecturing somebody about how important fashion is dumb.
There's a lot of emotions that scene elicits. So.
Yeah, I think that's the point. It's art, it elicits those emotions. Anyway, the Egyptians could use this to make cheaper blue, so they didn't have to care as much about lapis lazuli unless they wanted to use it for something. But it's not the same color. It's a slightly different blue, which I thought was really cool. And the Tyrian purple, by the way, is from the coastal city of Tyre, which is in modern Lebanon. Also very expensive. A half kilo or a pound of purple cost a half year's salary for a Roman soldier. It would be like buying a super duper expensive gem. It's real expensive. And that one comes from snail shells, which is super cool. The Murex bendaris or Bolinus bendaris, and Pliny the Elder writes about this as well. They took predatory snails. There was a gland in them near their butt, and they crushed it up, and then they putrefied the gland in salt water for like a long time. Then they boiled it for 10 days, and it got real stinky, and then it would eventually turn this like reddish.
That's the Tyrian purple.
Color.
How do you think they discovered that process?
There's a bunch of different folklore about it. There's a painting that actually uses it in the painting where like Hercules' dog discovered it, and it has like these shells on a beach, and the dog's like, rah! And like, anyway.
So the sails of royalty were that color because of snail anuses. Am I getting...
Yes. Yep. You're totally right. My point of all of this is to say the color of things in the ancient world, one, things were super duper colorful. We usually go to the museum and we see like white statues and like brown statues, and that's it. They were all colorful, painted, beautiful. I've seen some of the like Egyptian hieroglyphs that still have like the original color on them, and they're amazing. There was just this week that we're recording this in February of 2025, they just uncovered the first Egyptian tomb of a king found in 100 years for the first time. And the part of the reason they knew that it was going to be a king's tomb is they looked at the ceiling and it's blue with yellow stars painted on, which they only did because it's so expensive. So they only did that for kings, which is super cool. I've seen it. It's incredible. Not that one specifically, but other ones. So we evolved in this world of color. Humans have cared about color as long as there have been humans. That's my point. Also, I just thought it was really neat. I could talk about pigments all day. They're really cool. So Adriana Briscoe, an evolutionary biologist at the University of California, Irvine, talked a little bit about color and human evolution. Obviously, we evolved living in trees and savannas and things, and so we can discern a lot of shades of green. And then they thought maybe the reason we can do that is so that we can also see all of these different shades and tell if a leaf is a new leaf, which has more nutrients in it, than an older leaf, which would be a different color of green. They also thought maybe the reason we can see red versus green, because have you ever wondered why you can see color? You don't really need it, unless you need to discern different colors of fruit, or you need to discern things that might be poison, might not be poison. It just gives you an evolutionary advantage over things that might not be able to see color.
Yeah, predators that have adapted to camouflage compared to tigers, right?
Yes.
They think, like, why are tigers orange? And
Right.
it's because the prey they're stalking can't see red, so they actually blend in really well with
It's incredible.
Yeah.
If you look up a
Yeah, I was
picture.
going to say, because like the animals, they see colors differently than we do. So they experience the world differently than we do. And yeah, that's a great example. And
Yeah.
I know that we're talking about animals and nature right now, but when you were talking, Trace, about, you know, in the ancient world, there were so many colors everywhere. I just got mad because now they've convinced us that all any of us want are these like white, boring, stark walls because they just want us to flip our properties so quickly. And so we've embraced minimalism, and we don't. And I know my wall looks white. It's not. I know that the room that I'm in, as I'm saying this, looks very stark and white and boring. It is not. All the color is in the room. You just can't see it.
You can see it, though.
And also,
that's
this
the
is not a
important thing.
white. This is a creamy white, and it is called soft chamois. That is the name of the color from Benjamin Moore, and it has a little hint of warmth to it, and it's very nice around
love
this
that.
time of day when the sun comes in through my window.
I'm also going to use that next time somebody points out that I am white. I'm going to be like, excuse you, I'm a soft chamois.
Nice. Honestly, you probably could find out what your color really is. So anyway,
It's white. Go on.
the first known color theory. Any guesses who came up with that one?
It's going to be someone famous
But ancient.
from Greek philosophy.
Yep. You're
Is
there.
it Plato?
Not
Aristotle.
Plato.
Socrates.
It's always Aristotle.
Good old Stotley. Yep. So Ari came up with it in the mid 300s BCE.
What
and
didn't that guy do?
I know, right? Gosh, embarrassing for us.
Yeah.
All the colors
Fight crime, I
in
bet.
his color theory come from light and dark and their relationships with water, air, earth, and fire. So like dark red or crimson would be darkness plus like sunlight or firelight. And that's like color theory. This was a very influential system, and it held for 2,000 years until in the 1700s, another dude, famous guy, any guesses?
1700s.
Plato.
Ben. Boy, he lived a long time.
Ben
Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
Was it Ben Franklin?
No.
Oh, the
Dang it.
1700s. I said Plato for the 1700s. My bad.
Yeah, that's all right.
A different guy named Plato.
Yeah, Plato Robinson.
Jim
I meant
Plato.
the other Plato. Yeah. I was talking about a
The
different
guy who
Plato.
started the toy clay company.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. Play-Doh.
That would actually be relevant because of all the colors.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
It would be.
Exactly. Wait, no, another famous person, 1700s?
Yeah, late 16, early 1700s.
Late
he came up with-
16.
Yeah, he
Where?
lived across the 16 to 1700 transition period.
Voltaire.
No.
Dang it. All right, I give up.
Good old Newton.
Ow! I've heard of him.
And Isaac Newton was experimenting with prisms and broke the colors of light into
Oh, of
initially
course.
5 colors. And he guesses, guys, what those 5 are.
Red,
Yes?
Red,
green,
yellow,
blue.
green, blue, purple.
Red,
Violet.
yellow, green, blue, and violet were the original 5. And he went back and added orange and indigo to make Roy-G-Biv.
Luigi Biv.
Because 7
Not a
is
real
divine.
person.
Because 7 fit better with music, which is what he was like dividing things by. He was using music to try and, unified points between nature and science. Very,
Oh, that's cute. I like
very
that.
light. But that's just color itself. It exists, obviously. But the psychology of it is really in part what you're asking about, right? So not only can humans see all these colors and we use them in our day-to-day lives and we want them and we want to understand them, but there's a psychology involved. So your question comes back to, would you be more aggressive? And really the question then, does color affect us as much as we like to think it does? Lucky for us, Domisela Jonaskaita, a doctor at the University of Vienna, talked to the American Psychological Association for their podcast all about this specific thing. She is an experimental color psychologist studying cognitive and affective connotations of color across individuals and cultures. Super cool.
Cool gig.
Yeah, right? They
I want that
created
job.
the International Color Emotion Association survey. It hit 80 countries, 46 languages, and had 15,000 participants to find out if we associate colors universally with emotion. Do you think we do?
Yes.
Universally?
Oh,
See,
universally.
Universally. Like red is always this and yellow is always that. And
See, like, I feel like, so this is why I asked the question, because the universality of it is the question,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we perceive blue to be calming and serene because water is usually calming and serene, and because our sky is blue?
Mm-hmm.
And is red aggressive and scary because it's fiery and,
Yeah.
and bold and can burn us, you know?
well, the answer is yes. They do have
Wow.
universal associations. I was shocked by that. Universally, according to their survey, people associated red with anger, but also love, yellow with joy, and black with sadness. And we do know that babies evolutionarily will look longer at the color red. Raphael's favorite color is red. It's actually really common for kids to have the color red be their favorite because
Your kid's name is Raphael and his favorite color is red,
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
like the turtle.
God, that's a secret
Look.
identity.
Yeah, he's not a turtle. He's a boy. Anyway, so red is associated with anger and love, like I said, but we don't know why necessarily. They looked into some of the connections of this. This doctor did look into some of these things, but it feels like it's a bit of a retcon to say like anger, blood, red. It's like that doesn't really help us, because red can also be a sunset. It can also be like fall leaves. It can also be dirt in many parts of the world. All of that is red. So it's like, it's tough to say why, but this is generally what culturally people associate with red. There's not a lot of connections to idioms that we connect to those things, though. So blue is universally seen as calming and related to contentment. And again, we could retcon it exactly as you're saying to like, oh, it might be water, it might be sky. We don't really know why. Blue is pretty rare in nature. In some cultures, it's associated with sadness. You're feeling blue, but that's mainly just English. They think that doesn't exist in other cultures in the same way. Like green with envy doesn't seem to exist elsewhere. So color is universal in some ways, but more complex in other ways, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, even like the thing with red and the heart and love, like red and love, where did that come from? You think it's the heart and it pumps blood and blood is flowing and, you know,
Yeah.
you feel that burst of, you know, your cheeks flush when you're in love and things like that. But the heart isn't even associated with love universally either. Like some
Correct.
places it's the liver, and which is like kind of gross. I like
It
the
is
heart
kind of
better.
gross.
You know?
Also, it's not like we knew a lot about human anatomy like 100,000 years ago, like when we were coming up with all these connections in our brains. Dr. J says that when it comes to color connection to emotion, it's in the domain of our minds, is what she said. She is from Lithuania, and in Lithuania they have a color associated with anger, and it is not red entirely. And in fact, a little bit angry, you would describe your anger as white. A little more angry, like regular angry, would be red. Very angry. What color would be, I'm very angry. But there's a
Tyrion.
level above this, but like very angry.
Tyrion purple.
Purple.
Black.
I was gonna say black, but I was saving it for the most
No.
angry.
Highest level.
The highest
And that's
level,
Tyrion
intense
purple.
is purple.
I could
intense
pound
anger,
you like a snail anus
furiousness, like extreme anger, which is really interesting. I thought, yeah, a bit about how we discern color. Obviously, cones in our eyes discern the color. We have a red one, a green one, and a blue one typically. Although some people have more trouble discerning between red and green because they have a mutation on the cone that gets longer wavelengths, so reddish and greenish ones. So they have trouble discerning the differences between red and green, but they can still get blue. There's a mutation on the X chromosome that can cause that, which is also why it's more common in men, because men only have one. X chromosome. But it's also the opposite. You can have a mutation that gives you more cones. So you might have a red, a green, a blue, and an orange. And this would be called a tetrachromat. It's people with 2 X chromosomes typically because they have more chance of getting it. And they can have 4 cones and discern millions more colors than people with only 3, which is super cool. So we don't know why this happens, and
So
everybody's a little different.
is that why they say that women can see more colors than men? Typically,
I did look into that. There's no evidence that women generally can see more colors than men. However, culturally speaking, men don't have as much pressure to see color. It comes down to the patriarchy, really. Men don't have to care, and so thus they don't.
Right.
Or they aren't pressured to care. We'll put it that way rather than have to. And Dr. J studied sex-associated color knowledge and found that some humans, and this made me sad, only have 11 words for colors.
Oh.
11. I mean, we were real sad. Imagine only knowing 11 colors. Basically, they said many men only know 11 words for colors.
I'm going
like Roy G. Biv, and then like red, green, and red, gray,
Roy G. Biv, pink,
white, white,
chartreuse,
gray, black, and pink.
Where other people have 100 or more words for color. And it really just comes down to what you experience and what you spend your time looking at.
If I just list hex code numbers and letters, does that count as knowing more?
Well, now you know Egyptian blue, lapis lazuli, Tyrian. You know a bunch more colors. So hopefully that's helpful.
If I just pick a few, what is it, like 6 digits between 1 and 16, but in hexadecimal?
No, you have to hold these hex codes in your heart. You know? Like you have to know.
I agree. You have to know what that color is. If someone says to you, what is the magenta?
It's not that hard to understand hex codes, right? Each 2 are just like the red value, the blue value, and the
If I show you a color, can you give me a hex code? How intimate it would have to be.
The one behind you is FF, FF,
this doesn't count. I already told you what color.
But it's not, because she said it's
you're right.
probably FF7 or something.
Get out of here. I'm like taking it personally that you called my wall a bunch of F's.
I only know the hex code for white because there's a tech journalist named Molly White, and her handle is just Molly FFFFFF, which is
that's excellent.
Funny. Very
I
clever.
Like that a lot. That's very clever. So anyway, there was a lot in this podcast. So if you're really interested in all this, go listen to it. Dr. J talks about how they studied emotional connections, how they studied sex connections, how they studied all sorts of different. They studied chromotherapy, the idea that color can heal. No evidence in that, by the way, none at all. There are people who believe or did believe that color reduces anxiety and stress, but they did a study where they showed people color, sometimes white, while they were doing calming things, and they were all equally calm afterward, which I thought was interesting. Light therapy for like SAD and blue light cutting glasses. Dr. J had a really interesting point on where she said a blue colored light, like colorful light, is different than blue light. And I think she puts it more clearly in a quote. Exposure to blue light is exciting, but that doesn't mean that exposure to a blue color is exciting. Those are 2 different things. When we see a color, we see it reflected off of another object, like a wall or a piece of clothing. You can never reflect light at the same intensity as a light source. So when you think of like blue cutting glasses, that's a blue light shining out of your phone directly into your eye. If you look at a blue thing, that blue thing is reflecting only the blue back at you and absorbing everything else. And so they're completely different things. So when we talk about like light treatments, typically we're looking at things like emitting that light at you as opposed to just surrounding yourself with colorful stuff. I find it very interesting.
So my house, my bedroom is facing this wall, right? And it has all the windows on this wall. And the neighbor, for a while, he stopped doing this, but for a while, he would just like shine these blue lights into his backyard for no reason at night while everyone's trying to sleep. And this blue light is flooding into my room because I had to get blackout curtains because of this, right? And so now his blue light is flooding into my room. And I'm also mad because the wildlife is like having to deal with this stupid blue light. everywhere. I don't think my neighbor is going to listen to this podcast. That was fine, but he stopped doing it. But I was like, isn't this like the worst light to be like flooding into people's homes in the middle of the night when they're trying to sleep?
So yeah, Dr. J would say, no, not really. It's bad because it's light.
It was infuriating nonetheless.
Yeah, infuriating,
that's the most mad
but
Blue has ever made me.
He was trying to catch the Easter platypus.
Who knows? It's just like,
that's great.
Putting in a lot of legwork year round, you know.
One more thing before we kind of wrap this up. There were some studies in the 1970s that found that prisoners who were in pink cells were calmer. And this I found, and I thought it spoke right to your question. If I live somewhere that is this color, am I going to feel differently? They literally painted the cell that the prisoner was in pink. They had...
See, now my question is, which pink? Like, what kind of pink? Like a
Baker
hot pink,
Miller
a baby
pink.
Which one?
Baker Miller pink. It's a specific pink. Wow, it's almost like millennial pink. It's P618.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of
also
nice.
known as drunk tank pink.
Like a Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. It's hex code FF91AF.
An explosion at the bubblegum factory.
It is very bubblegummy. So the thing is, there's no science there. Even though there was a study in the 70s, the study was done with prisoners who were in a white cell for a year, and then they moved them into a pink cell the following year. And they were like, they're calmer in the pink cell. And it's like, yeah, they've been in prison for longer.
They're used to it.
So they're just
Not
less
very rigorous.
Right. And so they reran the study in 2015, more randomized, a more modern study design, and they found no correlation between their behavior and pink cells, which is wild because when the study came out, there were like police stations all over the country that were painting their drunk tanks pink, trying to keep people calm, which is why it's called drunk tank pink now. It's just very funny to me. But put simply, can seeing red literally make you feel things? Dr. J says, nah. It doesn't, there's not a connection between what you're looking at and your emotion that they have found yet. It's more of a, Katy Perry teenage daydream kind of.
So that's good. So if we all move to Mars, if we all have to move to Mars, which I don't want to do, it's going to be so cold. Nobody talks about how cold it's going to be on Mars.
It's
but
very cold.
It's going to be very cold. Then, we don't have to worry about being any more aggressive necessarily than we are here on Earth with our blue sky.
I feel like there's one thing that we haven't talked about.
What's that?
Is the Martian sky red?
It's not.
It's not. It's not red.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Which I didn't know. I was like, Mars is red, right?
Like there's more red everywhere.
Yeah. So Mars is red from a distance because of the iron oxides in the soil. It's a rusty planet. But if you were on Mars under the sky, which we have robots that do that, it's like a yellow-brown. The sky. It's like yellowish brown. JPL actually wrote it's some golden, some brown, some tan, and even greenish on Mars, depending on what you're looking at, like the palette of Mars. But a Martian sky during the day is almost, this is like butterscotch color, which I think is kind of a cool way to describe it.
Well, that's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
The sky looks yellow-brown during the day, then pink or even blue at sunset and sunrise because of the dust in the atmosphere. Julian's nodding like you know what's going on.
Yeah,
you want me to move here? No, thank you.
I wanted to bring that up. I did a video on it years ago, how Martian sunsets. There were some pictures from a rover that they released of the sunset, and it was blue, and it was so cool to me, like a
I'm gonna look
Martian
it up.
sunset.
I'll look it up.
It's very
cool. I
cool.
also realized that, like, as we're having this discussion about Mars, the most prominent image I have in my head of Mars and what Mars looks like is from the Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" video, and maybe not the most accurate.
Funny. Well, in movies, we do see a lot of things that the color is usually pumped up a lot, right? For example, when I say, for people who watch a lot of Hollywood movies, when I say Mexico, what kind of a movie do you picture?
Oh,
what color is it?
Just like the dustiest yellow filter over the lens.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually called the Mexico filter. It's yellow colored or sepia. It's overly warm color grade, according to
and
Wikipedia.
Hazy.
It's used in Breaking Bad, Traffic, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and a bunch of other 90s and 2000s films. It's not the only one. I spent some time actually looking this up. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but that's part of the way we experience color is through creative work like art, like Vermeer, painting Mary Magdalene a certain color, painting the Virgin Mary a certain color, painting different things that we care about different colors.
Our Easter eggs a certain color.
Our Easter eggs a certain color, right. By the way, the reason that sunsets on Mars are blue is because the iron oxide in the dust absorbs everything except the colors it reflects.
Which is red.
Red. But it gets in the way of the blue wavelengths and causes Rayleigh scattering, which is the same thing that causes our sky to be blue. So there's just more of it in the way because it's a very thin atmosphere. So another thing that they pointed out, there's less light on Mars in general. Our eyes have cones. We spent a little time talking about them, but they also have rods. Rods have no color perception. And at night, have you ever noticed you see in black and white? So you're just going to perceive less color in general on Mars. It's called the Perkinge effect. It just means that we would experience somewhat less color.
Ew, I'm never going to Mars.
Yeah, Mars doesn't sound
awesome,
right? It doesn't actually sound good. One more thing Dr. J talked about, which I think tells us all we need to know about moving to Mars. They did a survey and they found research shows blue is the most universally liked color. The least liked color, any guesses?
Brown.
Yellow.
Oh, that's a shame.
Pink, most disliked.
What about orange? I thought people hate orange.
Apparently, not as much. So yellow and pink are universally disliked. Blue is most universally liked. So if you were on Mars, not only would you see less color, the sky would be yellowish brown all the time. The ground would be like a rusty brownish yellow. And so you'd just be surrounded by this color that's kind of bleh. So Mars, maybe not awesome in that way.
Mars, no thank you. That's the sign off.
Thank
Mars,
you.
Pass.
So to answer your question, we spent lots of time and resources coming up with color because we care about it a lot. We associate red with anger, but that's mainly cultural. And in fact, there's no real universal connection between color and emotional response. And living on Mars wouldn't really be red anyway. It'd be a mixture of yellows and browns and a little blue and a little pink. And it would be really depressing and dim. It'd be like living in wintertime because it's cold and
cold,
lame.
yeah.
I mean,
dim
cold is
cold.
Yeah, cold is relative because there's such a rarefied atmosphere. You probably wouldn't feel very cold necessarily, but it would be very uncomfortable. Don't do it. Pass. I think the correct answer is pass. Pass. So with that, we've come to the end of yet another episode of That's Absurd. Please elaborate with our guest, Yasmin Khan. Yasmin, tell people where they can find you if they want to come and listen to other things that you talk about.
Yeah, you can find me on the Young Turks network. I do videos for them several times a week. And you can find me on their shows. Sometimes I'm a guest host, sometimes I'm anchoring. And also you can follow me on social media. On Instagram is where I'm most active, but I do have to say I'm not very active. So you can come follow, but who knows what you're going to get, if you'll get anything at all.
What a promise.
And sometimes it has something to do with what I'm working on over at TYT. And sometimes, most of the time, it has nothing to do with what I'm working on over at TYT.
Look, if you really enjoy home design, follow Yasmin on.
I do post a lot of my home stuff. But
color of her walls. Yeah.
Soft Chamois by Benjamin Moore. That's here in case anyone's interested. So my Instagram handle is at YazK with 5 Z's, YAZZZZZK.
One more time.
YAZZZZZK.
Wow. How many Z's is that?
That's 5.
5 Z's. 5 Z's. And in case you're wondering, the hex code for Soft Chamois is E8E4D7.
It's cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cute. It's a nice color.
It works well with the sunlight.
It's yellower than I expected. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Eggshellish. Thanks for listening to this episode of That's Absurd. Please elaborate. The show was created and written and produced by Yasmin Khan, of course, and me, Trace Dominguez.
And me, Julian Huguet.
It was also produced and edited by the wonderful and wonderfully talented and probably like Soft Chamois, but a person,
The softest chamois.
Yeah, Kyle Sisk.
Kyle Sisk. our soft chamois. Special thanks to listeners who submitted questions featured in this episode, Wynn, Emily, and Yasmin. If you would like to submit questions, look for the form in our show notes, or you can email us at hello@that'sabsurdshow.com. Go to that URL, that'sabsurdshow.com/ask. Call us 302-TAPE-SHOW. That's 302 TAPESHO. I can't stop doing it now. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, I love it.
No, somebody pointed that out like several episodes ago.
TAPESHO. When you have a question, just give us a call. We'll workshop.
We're not as good as
Chapel's Grammy-winning,
much better than us.
Yeah, very good. Special thanks also to our new Patreon subscribers. We have a couple new ones, Caitlin and Zilpha. Thank you for joining. And also a new absurd administrator. So to add to Les and Adam, we have Austin. Woo-hoo! Thank you to all of you who have joined the Patreon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We do this show just, with the vibes mostly. So thank you for the Patreon for helping support the show. If you want to join, go down into the show notes. You can find a link there to support the show.
Mm-hmm. And while you're down there, you can leave us a review, stars, hearts, words, whatever it is. Just tell people that you like it and it's worth their time. It helps people find us.
And finally, a special thanks to those who are listening over on Nebula. If you are listening to this on Nebula, thank you. That's awesome. If you want to join Nebula and support the show every time you listen, just go to nebula.tv/that'sabsurdshow, or you can go to our website, that'sabsurdshow.com/nebula.
Yeah, there's a lot of other great creators on there that we love, and they're doing cool stuff with Give Directly, too. So, thanks to Jasmine Miller for helping me out from Give Directly. All right, Trace, what do we say at the end of every episode?
Never forget the magic, Julian.
It had to be it. It had to be it. It was almost going to be good luck in your vigilantism, but never forget the magic took it for me. Agreed.
I feel like Batman being a white-collar criminal also is pretty...
And Mars, no thank you.
Mars?
No Mars.
No thank
Pass.
you.
Pass on Mars.
Thank you. Perry the Easter platypus.
Perry the Easter platypus.
He'll bring the eggs and you can build a nest and happy Easter.
And not get shot with his poisonous spurs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and his poisonous spurs. Since we've mentioned it a couple of times, Easter being on 420, I feel like this is maybe early to mention, but Julian and I are going to be doing a live show at Smith College, and it's going to be so fun, and we're so excited about it. The final stuff is coming together, but we'll be in touch with more information on that, but it will be on 420.
Oh, boy.
So far.
Ooh.
That's the plan.
Fun.
Big day.
Mark your calendars.
Big day all around.
Big day.
Yeah.
Big day, everybody.
Absurd Sunday. Thanks for listening to That's Absurd. Please elaborate. We'll see you next time. Hi there. I hope you all enjoyed the episode again, but before we go, remember, we're doing Pods Fight Poverty. You get a 100% match by Giving Multiplier, so all you have to do is go to givedirectly.org/absurd, and you can join us and 40 other podcasts in helping families who need help with their extreme poverty. You can help them. Giving Multiplier will match every dollar you donate, so you're basically doubling your donation just by doing it before the end of December. Donate one, get one. Dogo. Good band name, actually, Dogo. I feel like it's like a Japanese punk-inspired prog rock band. It's not probably like something I would want to go see, but to those who do, that's your thing. It's your thing, not my thing. It's your thing, not my thing. That's okay. My thing in this case is givedirectly.org/absurd. Anyway, we appreciate you. Have a lovely holiday. We will see you next week again with an it's a little bit Batman, if you will, to be more family friendly, holiday special that we have been working on for a month. I'm excited to show it to you. We'll see you next week. Bye.